here in front of the camera.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the weekend that is dedicated to remember the great ones, the veterans, the people who have made this country.
Hey, well, welcome back. Sorry, I'm new to this. Are we? Oh, right now we are chilling behind Jeffrey Earnhart's car. They got the Officer Sheldon family here. Really awesome tribute scheme. My favorite scheme in the Xfinity Series right now. So, good. I'll see if I can grab a quick word with him. I don't know. It's kind of a special moment, so I'm going to let that be. All right. What about you, Eric?
I'm down here with Brandon Jones. He's down here taking pictures and signing babies and shaking hands and doing it all. So what do you think about today? It's hot out. How are you going to stay cool in this thing and keep your head cool and keep mentally tough?
Man, you're not going to miss us today. We got the Bright Menard scheme for Charlotte this weekend. Jellwyn's in their hometown as well. So it's going to be tough. We've been prepping all week long, trying to eat some foods that's going to be good today, drinking as much water as we can. It's going to be a big mental game as much as you know as well. So hopefully some of these guys will fall out and we'll go right by them this afternoon.
That's right. Sounds good to me. Ryan, what do you got?
I'm here with 7'5" Austin Cindric, driving the PPG Rainbow Warrior car. How's your piece today?
Yeah, it's not bad. It's awesome to be able to race here at home. Kind of kick off the greatest weekend of motorsports here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. I think we got a good Mustang today and keep up with the track. Like I told you, I've got no idea what to expect with higher track conditions and higher temperatures and the snot in the corners, and we'll figure it out.
Snot in the corners, that's the first one. Bubba, you got any want to talk about snot down there?
No, not snot. We're talking about his black fire suit. I think you need to go back to the PR department and chew them out for not getting you like a white or a blue suit. What are your thoughts on today?
Well, I think this Cessna Alpine Star suit looks good. I was hoping it was white, but it's going to be hot in this thing, man. But my Camaro's pretty good. I feel like, I don't know. I need to stay hydrated today.
Stay hydrated? That's the biggest thing.
Ice pack during the caution for in between my legs when the water starts dripping off.
All right, back to you, Eric.
We're down here with Justin Allgaier. Now, Justin, you've had a little bit of a rough start this season, but it's been turning around here the last few weeks. Car's fast, right? That's all that matters. What's it going to take today to get up there and win this thing?
I think, honestly, managing the heat. You know, it's super hot. The track conditions are really different than what we even practiced on Thursday. So, you know, hopefully over the off day on Friday, we had some time to work on it. But our Hellman's Real Ketchup and Mayonnaise Camaro is really good. I feel like, you know, growing up with the dirt background, this hot, you know, slimy weather is going to be good for me. But, you know, it's going to be managing the race today and dealing with this heat. So hopefully we do a good job of that.
Sounds good. Good luck. Ryan, what do you got?
I got Tyler Reddick down here. I'm going like different size of drivers. I just had Austin. Now I got you. Make me feel tall. But you look like you were really good, you know, in practice. You led both practice sessions. Your long runs look great. I think you led 10, 15, and 20 lap sessions. What do you think about the racetrack today?
It's definitely a lot warmer today, and yeah, I'm shorter than some of the drivers we've interviewed so far. But our Tame the Beast Chevrolet was really good on Thursday. Obviously, we sat around an entire day, and it got a lot hotter. So Christopher put down a heck of a lap there, but let's see what our long runs got now compared to these two in front of us. And it's a long race. It's going to be a hot race, but we got a lot of racetrack to work with here today.
All right, well, best of luck to you. Don't forget to tame that beast. Bubba, your turn.
My turn? So I'm here at Trace Briscoe. Come in here. What's up, buddy? What do you think? It's hot. It's going to be slick. It's kind of like dirt racing. Yes or no? Maybe so?
Yeah, I like it. I like it. Not inside the race car, but it's definitely fun, you know, driving it. It's fun when we're slipping and sliding around. And this place is really slick as it is, so I'm looking forward to it. It should be a really good race. I feel like we have a pretty good neutral channels forward, and it should be really fun. You can run high, you're on the fence, you can run on the bottom, even right in the middle now with the grip strip, so it should be fun.
Good. Just don't hit the fence.
Yeah, I'll try not to.
All right. Back to Brad. Back to you.
Well, it's called the NASCAR Xfinity Drivers Broadcast. Not the most talented broadcast, all right? So we're working through a few things. We're going to keep having fun, but we have 3 minutes before the start of the invocation and today's pre-race ceremonies, which is just enough time to play Knaus versus the house. I'm a dad now, so there's dad jokes, okay? So there's a theme to these, and they're all Fox related. That's the only hint I'm going to give. And we're going to start with you, Chad.
Okay.
Points are on the line here. Who was in the booth for NASCAR on Fox's first race?
Very first race.
Very first race. There's a timer.
Mike Joy, Larry McReynolds, and Darrell Waltrip.
Ding, that's a point. Wow. He's off to a good start.
I will take that point.
Ricky, here we go.
I'm hoping mine's easier.
Yeah, sure, yours is pretty easy. Which current driver has had the most appearances calling NASCAR Xfinity Series races?
Kevin Harvick.
Oh, we nailed it.
Yeah,
tied up.
That's a good one.
Tie it up, okay.
Man,
Chad, including today, How many drivers-only broadcasts has NASCAR on Fox done?
Including today?
Including today.
It'd be 4.
3. Ooh, you got a chance. You got a chance
I was
here.
hoping you were just going to pass that question to me.
This is the toughest one of them all, though, Ricky. How many NASCAR on Fox broadcasters are Hall of Famers?
Ooh.
Or Hall of Famers.
Ooh, that's a good
This one
one.
is really tough.
The broadcasters?
Broadcasters.
I'm going to go with 3.
3. Can you name the 3?
Nope, but 3.
He is right. It is 3. It's Steve W.
That was great. That was awesome.
Jeff Gordon and Bobby Labonte. Now, congratulations, Bobby Labonte, on your nomination and award. Bonus question. This is for both of you. Who will be in the booth for the Super Bowl this season on Fox?
Joe Buck and Troy Aikman.
Ding, ding, ding. We have a winner. Now it's time
Chad,
to put down the
Mr.
track
Football.
for pre-race opening ceremony.
All right, they told me the answer. I'm not going to lie.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask that you please rise and remove your hats as the Civil Air Patrol 111th Search and Rescue Composite Squadron presents our nation's colors. Please remain standing as Billy Malden, CEO and President of Motor Racing Outreach, offers our invocation.
Let's pray. Gracious God and Heavenly Father, as we rise up here today to recognize your presence in our lives, Father, we do so kicking off a big weekend of racing where we honor and remember those who paid the ultimate sacrifice, defending our liberty. We pray for their families, their loved ones. We ask that your peace and your comfort be with them as only you can. Be with the drivers, teams, officials today, Lord. Let everybody have a wonderful day, a safe day of racing. And Father, may your peace just be with us all. In your holy name we pray. Amen.
Here to perform our national anthem from Owensville, Missouri, and stationed at the 2nd Marine Aircraft Wine Band out of Marine Corps Air Station, Cherry Point, North Carolina, please welcome Lance Corporal Mark Wilka.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
A blistering 90-degree day in Charlotte is about to get just a little bit hotter. It's the NASCAR Xfinity Series on FS1, coming to you after this break. Welcome back. I'm NASCAR driver Brad Keselowski, along with Ricky Stenhouse Jr. and Chad Knaus as part of this drivers-only broadcast. But now it's time to go out to the track, and let's talk to our 3 commentators of the drivers-only broadcast. Kevin Harvick, Joey Logano, and Clint Boyer. Oh, look at the pictures. Yeah, Clint Boyer's got his jorts out. Joey Logano, I think he might have been 4 in this picture.
I love the props by Boyer.
And Kevin Harvick with the first Polaroid picture ever taken. Welcome, guys.
Oh, man. I don't really know where to go with those pictures, but I can tell you that those were some sweet white socks there that you had on.
I need a redo. I feel like I need another chance at
I
that.
think you better talk to the person who handed out the pictures. But, yeah, so, you know, it's been a little bit since we've
taking those pictures. But let's talk about today's race. You know, I think as we look at this particular racetrack today, to me, this was always one of the most fun races for me as a driver because it got hot and it got slick. But it took hot to a new level today. How's that going to affect them?
Oh, for sure. I mean, it's going to be hot inside the race cars. They need to make sure they're hydrated and ready. But, man, this track's going to be moving around a lot. I think these Xfinity cars are going to end up moving up the racetrack some. How that PJ1's going to be affected as laps are run.
Traction compound, Joey.
Traction compound. Well, call it what you want. The sticky stuff is going to wear out, and those cars are going to start moving up the racetrack, maybe running right up by the wall. So it's going to make restarts interesting, I think, because there's going to be times that you're going to want to be right on the bottom, maybe the first few laps. And how long will it take before you want to get into that second lane, maybe third lane?
Yeah, but as race car drivers, that's what you look for, right? You want the track to be hot and slick. You want to be able to move around and find that grip. You know, as we put that traction compound down, it has enabled everybody to move around and find real estate where your car will work. But, man, I'm looking for restarts. Restarts are going to be a premium. The start of this race, holding your own, finding the line that you need to be in, probably, as we know from that all-star race, in the middle to the outside. So I think that's where the action is going to be today.
Well, I think as you look at Tyler Reddick and Christopher Bell and Cole Custer, they've been the three guys that have kind of stuck out. And I think as you look at qualifying and the way that went, I think those are the three guys that we're probably going to be watching today. Pick?
Yeah, no doubt. I think when you look at the speed that 20 had in qualifying, he's on the pole by almost 2/10. That's a lot. That's a lot of speed in that car. Will that last throughout a run? We don't know. We're going to find out.
Surely going to see.
We will find out, that's for sure. Let's go down trackside and to the command.
And now for the most famous words in motorsports, please welcome your Grand Marshal, North Carolina basketball legend Phil Ford.
On behalf of Alsco and our 20,000 employees worldwide, drivers, start your engines.
We have a lot of heat today, and we have a few comments from our drivers to tell us about how they're going to deal with it.
Love it when it's hot. It's like I just hate sitting in there for that long.
You just got to hydrate as much as you can, and hopefully your AC works, and from there you just got to deal with it.
Time to push the go button once again at Charlotte. It's a home game. NASCAR's backyard playing host. Oh my goodness. What a move. This is good racing.
Welcome back to Charlotte Motor Speedway, and this is one of my favorite guys that we get to watch race every week, and we have him in the driver's seat this week with Tyler Reddick and a Clint. Keep it kind of short.
Let's see if we can get him dialed up here. Hey, Tyler Reddick, it's Boyer, Logano, and Harvick up here in the booth. We're out of control already. We're looking for you to be in control. Starting third today. How's it looking for you, man?
Pretty good. You know, our Team the Beast Chevrolet was fantastic Thursday. Man, I thought I drove it in really hard into turn 1 and 2 qualifying, and Christopher Bell made me look like a scared little girl, so I'll try to go out there and redeem myself a little bit here today.
Well, we're pretty sure you race pretty aggressively all the time. My question to you really is what lanes do you think is going to be the best? You're the one that's practiced the car and was able to feel a little bit during practice in the heat. Do you think you're going to be moving up fairly quick, or do you think that bottom lane is going to hang for a little bit?
Yeah, I got a feeling it's going to move up really fast here. 501 and 2 was pretty hard to use. We didn't use it in qualifying, and suspect the same thing is going to happen over here in 3 and 4. So I think it's going to be a game of cat and mouse. Who goes up further and the fastest, and will probably be your fastest car.
Well, it's definitely going to be hot and slick. We're going to be looking for you to put on a show. So have some fun out there. We'll be watching.
Thank you, guys.
I would say that he will definitely live up to the Beast logo on the front of his hood.
I wouldn't be surprised if that right side has a few scrapes on it at the end of this. Still running, probably in the lead, but it'll be scraped up for sure.
Well, let's look at who's in the pits. We've got 3 more great pictures. Ryan Blaney, Eric Jones, and Bubba Wallace. Look at Bubba right there. He's got the stare down going.
Looks like he has yes, he is. Oh,
they still don't look the same.
They still look like kids.
All right, Ryan, tell us what you're doing down there.
Well, I'm standing down here sweating. I know you guys were complaining about being hot up there. I feel really bad for you. So we're just hanging out. I'm in Chase Briscoe's pit. Starts 11th today. Won the Roval here last year. They were saying in practice today, or yesterday actually, they had a really great race car, and that's usually really good. They usually struggle in practice, and they fine-tune it for the race. Has a really great track record. I think he'll get that Ford Mustang up towards the front. What do you have, Daryl?
So thanks for tossing it to me, Ryan.
I said Daryl.
Okay, sorry. So I'm here in Austin Dillon's pit. Excited about him. He's my pick for today. Won both races here back in 2015. Has a lot of success here. Not only is he running the race today, but he has a 600-mile race tomorrow that he's got to really focus on. So I'll be interesting to see how he's going to manage his body throughout this race to be in tip-top shape for tomorrow. Over to you, Eric.
Bubba, I don't know how, but somehow I found myself back in the 20 pit box again. But I'm down here with Christopher Bell. He's been good on all these mile and a halves all year. Hit a drain hole cover yesterday in practice. Lost a lot of practice time, but he's got it back going. Back on the pole again today. Following that beautiful Toyota Supra pace car. Back to you guys in the booth.
Well, thank you, guys.
I don't know about you boys, but old Bubba was sweating already, man. It feels pretty good up here.
I was going to go to the sweating card, but you guys have already been making fun of me for sweating, so I haven't quit sweating since I got in the car. But I can promise you, today is going to be a day of sweat inside of every one of those race cars. And as we came off the racetrack today, we had a really hard time running the bottom of the racetrack as well. And you heard a couple of those guys talk about not being able to run the bottom of the racetrack. And, you know, I think as you look back at the All-Star race and you look back at the things that happened there, the bottom was kind of the place to be.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't seem like it's as good since we came back.
Well, when you're holding a car wide open, right, you're just asking so much out of the tires. There's no more lifting, no more rolling the way we used to do it, right? The way of old is no more. I mean, when you're going through these corners wide open, they start to give up in the front grip and a little bit more with every lap, and next thing you know, you're in trouble. You need to figure out how to make this track bigger around, and that's exactly what they do.
And it's all about momentum, right? Because as soon as you start lifting and you lose a little bit of momentum, we don't have the horsepower, and these cars don't have the horsepower to recover and come back down the speed. So what they're going to do is figure out whatever they can do to keep the car wide open. And here you see already inside the car is already 109 degrees. They just started these water heaters a minute ago. So it's going to take a while, but he's going to see probably close to 130 degrees inside that cockpit today. And it's going to be tough. It's grueling in there.
Yeah, and that's the temperature, right? I mean, when it's 110, that's one thing. When you get out there, as soon as they drop this rag and you go off in there 3 wide, maybe 4 wide, we saw maybe a 5 wide at the All-Star race. That's when the heart rate starts coming in, and then you're really hot.
Well, you know, the most important thing that I saw on that screen was probably the 132-degree track temperature. And as you guys know, with the traction compound, and we talk about the bottom groove not working and all the things that we've talked about, that's going to get worse as it goes through the day because it's just going to get hotter as we run.
But that's where the challenge is. I mean, as race car drivers, you want a challenge. You want a track that you have to overcome obstacles, and certainly these guys have that today.
We see Christopher Bell. He chose the outside lane. I think that's probably because of the traction compound in the middle of turns 1 and 2, and just puts himself in a little better spot. But here we go. I have no idea why they let us take control of all this again, but these guys are going to put on a great show.
Great pushes from both lines right there.
And it's something we see right in the beginning of this race is that you have some very strong competitors. Those top 3 cars are all won a lot of races this year already.
Then 2 back, 2 by 2. Hang on your quarter.
It's definitely one thing we learned at the All-Star race with us on these restarts. It's so important. It really makes you think about Daytona, Talladega. Whoa, we got a little action already here, boys. That's 4 wide, huh? Told you. But you really have to focus and make sure that you have those cars behind you because you're only as good on these starts as the car behind you.
Well, the thing that happened on this first start was the fact that Austin Dillon took the lead on the bottom lane. And I think as you go through this race and you see what's happening. I'm sorry, Cole Custer. Sorry about that. I'm not looking at the screen. But here we're going to see a replay of the 9 and the 22.
You see the 9. He drove in that corner pretty hard.
Well, 22 was clearly, had his hands full, was lying on his feet already, and the 9 didn't give him.
Whoa! There you see.
That might be a game changer for today, boys.
I believe he cleared himself on that one. Don't need a spotter for that. that was clearing them up. And the thing is, with these new composite bodies on these Xfinity cars, you can hit the wall and it's not going to hurt the body too bad. Now, where it does get in trouble if you hit it too hard, you can start bending some suspension pieces, and that's going to hurt you through the rest of the day. But I don't think that's enough of a hit to really hurt that race car too bad.
100%. That would have been a day-ending event right there if it was one of our cars with the metal bodies on. This composite body certainly changed the game for these Xfinity cars.
Yes, definitely very forgiving. Here you see that top line already coming in, working at top. There goes Austin Dillon around the top of the 19 car. Carries that momentum. You can't stop that. Once they get out there, he's going to get you.
But I think that's the experience of just being in that Cup car, right? We just saw that. We felt that. He knew that that outside line was going to have the grip to put him past there, and I think they'll all be watching out and following suit.
Eric, what do you have on the 20? Clint, I think you make a valid point there with all the things that happened there in that first lap. You've got Noah Gragson, who had a different idea of how much grip and how much throttle he wanted to have. You see the 20 into the wall. You see Cole Custer take the lead on the bottom. And these guys haven't been back out on this racetrack since Thursday in race trim. And I think a lot has changed. They've sprayed the middle groove with the traction compound. And we all know that the bottom groove from Cup practice isn't as good as it was. So it'll be interesting to see where everybody's cars go after about 10 laps.
And that's what all these drivers were just doing. They were watching Cup practice. They were watching us on TV saying, okay, what lanes work, which lanes don't. And it seemed like for us the top lane came in. And right there you see Christopher Bell trying to work that bottom. He can get clean air down there, which is going to help his car, but he doesn't have that traction compound, which is going to hurt him. And then he's going to fight all the way down the straightaway with no momentum compared to Cole Custer in a 0-0. So here's kind of the opposite situation. He's going to the outside, trying to get more grip that way, trying to make a run.
And we've got a mess here.
Yes,
Look at this action. But going back to that and watching these cars with these runs, you've got to figure out how to get around and get out of that wake with a car in front of you. Very, very frustrating as a driver, but you've got to keep your cool and you've got to stay focused and figure out a way to get around that car.
And right there you see Ross Chastain in the 4 car. He started last. He is already up there fighting for he's in 14th already, still moving forward. And you see him maybe higher than anybody, getting in probably the freshest traction compound on the racetrack. This stuff will wear out. It's not going to be there the whole race, so you need to get it while you can.
Look at that run.
Hold on to it. Ross isn't scared. I can tell you. He's not scared.
22 still outside. You're clear now. Clear.
Bubba, what you got?
Hey, you got me? Hey, sorry. Clint, Austin down here has your spotter on the roof. He's doing a lot of coaching, telling him where other cars are. How can you relate to that? How good is Brett or how bad is Brett? Holla.
Well, everybody knows Holla. He's going to be able to give him information. And I think a spotter has to have two things, right? He's got to have an understanding of what you're going through. And I think it's important to have a relationship with a spotter. A guy needs to know you, your emotions, keep you in check that way. But he's so much more than just a car on the outside, a car on the inside, man. This guy's faster on the outside. He's better in 1 and 2 on the bottom. That's all relative information that a spotter can give you, and that's the difference between a good spotter like Brett and some of the others.
So you've done double duty here. Is this one that you keep on your list?
Man, you learn a lot for tomorrow. It's just going to be hot. Hard to get ready.
It is hot. Welcome back to Charlotte Motor Speedway. And we've had a great race for the lead. We've seen Christopher Bell try to work that bottom of the racetrack, and Cole Custer able to hold him off. But as you see, Cole is still in the lead. So this is coming off of turn 4, and Christopher Bell was able to get a good run. But what happens when you get to turns 1 and 2? That middle lane is the best lane right now.
Yep.
And Cole was able to hold the throttle down a little bit better than the 20, and the 20 just got loose. So, Ryan, can you add to this?
Well, I can't add to the front 2 battling, but I will add to the person that's running 3rd place right now. Tyler Reddick, just a little bit too loose to start out, but he's been trying to move up and up the racetrack to try to get better. But I'll tell you, he's got a great view of these 2 battling for the lead. He's hoping they get racing harder and it'll help draw him in.
And there you see the change for the lead right there. And Christopher Bell changed up what he was doing. The run before, when he was underneath Cole, he went underneath him and stayed on the bottom. Now he slid up and was able to get him.
You're running against the wall in 1 and 2. He gets within about a half a car width of it coming off at the 2/3 mark. 13 about like you, and his inches up.
Hey, guys, I mean, that's just good information. You know, I don't know how many times I lean on. We were just talking about Brett. How many times I got on the radio, hey, man, if he's faster, I can see him getting bigger in the mirror. Is he doing something different? Is it just rolling the center better? I mean, is his car faster? Do I need to be freed up? Is there something I need to be? Uh-oh, got trouble here. Caution, got a caution, guys.
We see the 60s.
Water out of the tailpipes is never good. Oh, got some, obviously, some fluid material in the track. Yep.
You see Matt Mills in the 5 car there, most likely get into that water out of the tailpipes from the motor expiring.
And the good news, it looks like he just has flat tires. Looks like he was able to hold that one off the wall.
You know, it's not very often you see water out of the tailpipes. That's a pretty catastrophic break right there.
Here's a look at it.
Yeah, that's usually a no warning sign there.
And a lot of fluid on the track. You know, but when you have something like that, no harm, no foul. They're going to go ahead, have a chance to put tires on this 5 car again and be back out to battle.
And here's the 4 pitting. The pits weren't even open yet. You see him pull some tape off and make an adjustment. I don't know why they would pit before it opened, and obviously he's going to have to pay the penalty for this by starting.
You know, they're pulling tape off here, Joey. More than likely that car is too hot. They weren't going to be able to cool it off, and they made that adjustment to save their engine, I would say.
I tell you, I heard him talk about one interesting thing yesterday. They were out in practice, and he said that those were the tires that they were going to run in the second run of the race. And if you're going to have that penalty right there, you would think that they were going to change the tires. So obviously they have probably no intention of changing the tires there.
Yeah, you guys, let's see if we can get one of our pit reporters down there to check in on this deal.
What do we have down there on pit road about the 4 car, guys?
I don't know who the 4 is, but I don't know.
hey, don't worry about it. I got
the 4 is
Bubba. The 4 is your guy. It is your guy, Bubba.
Oh, whoops. He pulled tape off. He was running hot.
There you go. Dynamite drop in, buddy. Man, that is nailed it. I mean, you've got
Actually, we should probably blame it on your coach. Your coach should have been giving you better guidance there.
It might be the hat.
You might need that hat. I think that sun's affecting your brain.
Yeah, well, a lot of things.
Well, there's a lot going on pit road, so the thing that hasn't changed is Christopher Bell's leading. Tiger Woods returns to Pebble Beach, the site of his most dominant major win, while Brooks Koepka is looking to make history as he attempts to capture his 3rd straight championship. The U.S. Open begins June 13th on Fox, FS1, and the Fox Sports apps. Eric, what do you have down there?
Yeah, it was really interesting for me listening into the 00 and the 20 there on their battle for the lead while I was watching. The 00 started getting really tight down in the center of 1 and 2, and his spotter was really trying to coach him on where Christopher was running and where his line was going and where he was really making speed. But eventually, as everybody knows, the faster car is going to prevail, and Christopher was able to move around and find a way around that 00.
I tell you, there's more damage on the right side than I actually thought there was. That thing is...
You get a pretty good lick.
Still fast.
It's still really fast.
And here we see the pits are open. I don't think many cars are going to pit. You can't, I don't believe you can make it to the end of the 2nd stage here. Tires still mean something. I think they want to save something to make sure they have some tires at the end of the race to win it.
Well, pit strategy isn't going to affect us in the middle of the 1st stage, but we'll see what happens in the next one. Welcome back to Charlotte, and we have more pictures. I don't know who hands us all these pictures or who handed them all these pictures to put up here today, but oh my goodness. Man, you guys look a lot more dressed up today.
I think it's bad. That's okay.
We look good.
We've grown up nicely.
Thank you very much, Kevin, for the, reliving some memories. Chad, you looked great.
Yeah, man, I had the little big wheel, man. I was ready to go.
Yeah, and Ricky, I've never seen someone so thrilled to win a race in their life.
Just thrilled. That was my first ever sprint car win right there.
Awesome, awesome. Well, back to the action here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. 22 laps into the race. Under caution right now, first yellow of the race. A lot of guys didn't pit here, Chad. Are you a little bit surprised by that?
No, with the limited amount of tires they've only got 4 sets of tires laying, and everybody's trying to, being halfway through this stage, just get to the stage. Everyone wants to get to the stage, make an adjustment on their race cars, put on their first set of tires, and then leaves them 3 for the rest of the race. Because get down to the end of this thing, tires are going to be pivotal. You're going to want to have a fresh set in your pits.
And Ricky, what are you thinking as a race car driver? You're about to restart with 20-some laps on your tires at a hot, slick Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Yeah, as you know, restarting at Charlotte is very difficult, especially on older hot tires. We saw the 4 of Ross Chastain come in the pits, take some tape off. I'm interested. I wish we could put a camera on him because he started at the back of this race and drove his way to the front, and I think he's going to do it again.
25 cars in 20 laps is what Ross Chastain passed. That's pretty impressive right there at Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Very impressive. Well, back to you guys at the Speedway. Kevin, take us from here.
All right, guys, thank you. And for me, when I look at the crew chief, I hear Chad talk, yeah, you know, it's too early to pit. There's not many more uncomfortable situations than having to refire on 20-lap used tires at this place in the middle of the day.
The only thing worse than that is when everyone pits and you didn't.
Yes.
And you're on those old tires. That's when you know.
And your crew chief's on the radio. Chad, not that you've ever done this. Your crew chief's on the radio going, all right, you got track position. Like, trying to figure out and find any kind of positive anything that they can put on the radio in your mind, and you know darn well you're in big trouble.
Well, we are about to see a pedal fest here in a second when they're about to try to light these things off. They still got a lot of horsepower in these things, and they're going slow. Here we go. We're going to see if they get them cleaned up good enough to get a good launch.
Still there, tight on your door. Clear behind him, 1 back and a half. Watch your 19, a half back. Right on you, they're side by side, one back. Protect the bottom here, coming inside.
And he slid up right. Cole Custer slid up right in the nick of time there. Caught that. Call it a block, call it whatever, but it saved his momentum for sure.
Bubba? Oh, we got a problem on the track.
Yeah, we got a little concern with the 7. Not too big, though. He stayed out there, but he's lacking right rear lateral grip. So he's a big fan of when it gets hot and slick, but I think it's a little bit too much for him today.
Well, he had plenty of grip on that restart. I don't know if you guys watched him go 3 wide up top, built a big run off of turn 2, and then sliced down to the bottom and got some positions. Now here's the 86 car. Looks like he has some contact with the wall. Here's a replay here.
Oh, man, that car just shot up out of nowhere. Pretty good contact there. I'd say that cut a tire down what it looks like, but I think he's going to get it to pit
That's
road.
the second time he's had trouble this weekend. Spun out in practice off of turn 2 and kind of slapped the back against the wall. But
3700, second gear, pit road speed.
Yeah, the right rear's down for sure.
Right.
Guys, that restart was interesting. You saw them all bunched up there, and that was basically what you were talking about, was they couldn't get going. And you saw that outside really prevail for Christopher Bell on the restart because Cole Custer just couldn't get the grip, and now they're all singled out.
And this is that cycle on the tires. You know, as these things cool off, you don't know what they're going to refire off. Sometimes they fire off extremely tight. Sometimes it's almost like they're greasy, and you go through 1 and 2, and that thing's tank swap, and you're trying to keep it underneath there. You're trying to listen to your spotters. Cars on the outside, as you said. All guys 3 wide. And, you know, you're trying to manage all these different things, and all the while not knowing the grip level that's in your car.
Eric, what do you have on the 18 car?
Yeah, guys, it was interesting for me listening to him under caution. They were trying to decide whether to stay out or come in. And for Jeffrey being a guy who's not in the 18 full-time, the communication back and forth was beyond what most normal drivers every week would really want to hear. They asked Jeffrey how much information he wanted, and he said, just keep pouring it to me. Anything you can tell me is going to help me along in this thing and trying to get it up front.
Well, I think one of the coolest thing about Jeffrey Earnhardt's car right now is Officer Sheldon on the side of the car with his dog Ramon. Officer Sheldon was shot in Mooresville here a few weeks ago, and what a great tribute to have his face and his dog on the side of this race car. I think that touches home for everyone here.
Absolutely.
Everyone living pretty close to the Mooresville area as being a home racetrack for a lot of crew members and all. And there you see him right there on the right rear quarter panel. What a really cool paint scheme. Maybe one of the best paint schemes I've ever seen.
Yeah, the honor, the respect there. You know, the traffic, you saw, I mean, literally the town stopped
as that funeral procession come through there, and it was just a touching moment. Obviously, a totally devastating, horrible thing, but the community coming together, using this weekend, using the opportunity to honor him was very, very special. This weekend, guys, such an honor for us all on this Memorial Day weekend to be able to honor, you know, fallen soldiers, Master Sergeant Gordon on my car. That means something, right? You learn about that individual, you learn about their families. Hopefully you host their families. That's all so meaningful and something that I take from this weekend every single time.
Well, every time we've come to the Coke 600, you see it in the pre-race ceremonies, you see it all over on the cars, on different cars throughout the weekend, and there is not a sport that does appreciating our military better than what we do here in NASCAR. Ryan, what do you have on the 98?
Chase Briscoe started 11th. I said before the race he thought his car was really good in practice. Was pretty loose on that first run. And I know you guys know this up in the booth. We get a heat cycle on those tires. I thought they kind of tightened us up in practice. So that maybe have tightened them up just a little bit. Just enough for him to start to go forward here as he closes in on two of Tyler Reddick.
And that's what makes it so challenging to be able to adjust your car. You're telling your crew chief something like that, and now you're going off a heat cycle. How do you do that?
We're going to go to break, but you won't miss a thing. It's a double box break.
3, 2, 1.
Don't miss the LTI Printing 250 and the Firekeepers Casino 400 at Michigan International Speedway, NASCAR's most entertaining track. There's tons to do with the whole family, like camping, live music, fireworks, and more. Tickets for as low as $39. Admission for kids under 12 is half price with a free pit pass courtesy of Henry Ford of Legion's Health. Michigan International Speedway. You don't get it until you get here. Visit mispeedway.com for tickets.
Geico makes it easy to get help when you need it. With licensed agents available 24/7. It's not just easy. It's having a walrus and goal easy.
It's a walrus! Ridiculous! Yes! Nice save, big guy!
Good job, Duncan! Way to go!
It's not just easy, it's Geico easy.
Oh, Duncan, stay up. No sleepies.
You see them? The ones sitting atop the throne. A crown on their head and a target on their back. The team no one can look away from. The team everyone wants to take down. So take your best shot. Just remember, you come with the Queen. You best not miss.
This is more than a race.
The Coca-Cola 600, here we go.
This is America's favorite weekend. When NASCAR comes home to Charlotte. It's a chance to honor those who've served. And after 600 miles, this is everything and a little bit more. The Coca-Cola 600, Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern on Fox and the Fox Sports app.
Welcome back to Charlotte Motor Speedway. We are 37 laps into stage one, and things are starting to change. These guys are starting to move up the racetrack, and the heat is going up.
That doesn't look fun.
Hey, man, we're going to be hot, grueling. This is what you guys train for, so drink water, stay hydrated, I'll do the same thing. All right, bud. Days like today, or when this off-season, all that preparation you've had, is all about. These guys will be falling out of the seat. You're going to make it to the end. It's going to be a hot one today. Yes, sir, right on. I ain't cool yet, but be laying low for this whole race.
Yeah, and it's not fun, especially when the caution comes out for me. I always feel like while you're going, things seem to be rolling along pretty good. You don't realize how hot it is, and then you slow down for caution, and you come in the pits, and you're like, ugh.
And we just got a really good stat about a rare state is 135 degrees. They're cooking inside these cars. Bubba?
Hey, young drivers are often never given enough credit for what they do in the seat. I'm a victim of that, from especially you three up there. But anyways, hats off to Noah Gregson for asking his spotter where the top guys are running, as he's currently now running up against the fence. And he spent a lot of time on the GM simulator. I know from personal experience that helps out a lot. So he's definitely doing his part. We'll see if he can make it last to the end.
Yeah, I mean, this is really about the traction compound and the heat of the day and the cars moving around. As a driver, how do you search around? How do you get enough confidence to move up the racetrack without
desperation, right? I mean, it's absolute desperation. You can no longer get that car to hold the throttle down and carry any speed through the center of the corner running the bottom. You're desperate to try to find grip somewhere. That traction compound is wearing out. It's moving up. You're looking for fresh grip somewhere, and eventually you run out of that, and somebody will get into that wall. It happens every single time, whether it's Xfinity truck. You know, when conditions are like they are today, and you're searching for that grip more and more and more, closer and closer and closer to that wall. Eventually, somebody jumps the cushion, as we'd say, and gets into the wall.
And we see two guys right here in Jeb Burton and Jeffrey Earnhardt, who are getting a rare opportunity. They don't run every race. They're in two good race cars today. They're at a really difficult racetrack. They're running just outside the top 10, and they're switching lanes right here.
Boy, they are racing, and that's something right now that I like seeing about this racetrack. That PJ1 is starting to wear a little bit. Cars are starting to run up by the wall. Tires are wearing out, and it looks like the track is more racy right now than it's been all day, where cars are on the bottom, the top. Look at in front of Chase Briscoe right there with all the different lanes that were in front of him.
But
like
three to go. You're talking three to go here. You've got to get there. You're doing everything you can do to get yourself in position, established for these stage points that are oh so important, and then obviously track position as you get on and let your boys have their shot at pit stops and adjustments and get back to the restart.
And Chase Briscoe carrying our helmet cam right here. You can really see how rough the racetrack is with his head bouncing around pretty much all the way around the racetrack. So it's definitely not a smooth ride as you go around Charlotte Motor Speedway. Ryan, why is the 11 pitting?
Yep, Justin Haley started in the back for a broken axle, made his way all the way up to 15th, and it seems like he had a right front flat. Not sure he had damage with the wall, he just blew that tire.
It's definitely unfortunate. Oh, got some. Oh,
man.
Big piece of debris.
That might be where that flat tire came from.
Might be another one right here at the end. Final lap of the stage, they might try to get to it. That's a big piece of debris.
Yeah, it looked like a piece of insulation from the headers that probably came off. And fortunately for us, it's on the last lap of the stage. And fortunately for Christopher Bell, he went around it because he's running right against the wall. So Christopher Bell is going to come off at turn 4.
Oh, I think he got it that time.
He did get it. 3 or 4 guys got it there. You know, you can see the damage, I think, on the front right there.
Christopher Bell's going to win the stage.
And what a close ending. It closed up so much. Those top 3 cars are stacked right on top of each other. This is going to be a good race. Those 3 cars are very equal. Seems like the 20 might fall off a little bit on the long run, be good on the short run. So it'll be interesting.
Well, definitely will be interesting. Christopher Bell collects a bonus point for the playoffs and wins stage 1.
Ross, what's up?
Hey, buddy, how are you?
Thanks for taking a walk with us.
Yeah.
So, a lot of people may know, but what's your ideal day away from racing?
If I can get to a farm, I would, honestly.
Okay, that's where I thought you would say that.
But there's not a lot around Charlotte and Mooresville, so.
When you don't go to the farm, you're not at the racetrack, I see you like to go to Nashville. Big Nashville fan?
Yeah, I've only been twice.
Oh, okay, all right. Do you ever race at the track up there?
No.
Dog or a cat guy?
Dog.
Dog, yeah, where do you go?
Yeah, I got
I don't understand.
rescue.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
What's the mix?
Rhodesian Ridgeback.
I've never even heard of that.
He's just a mutt.
Okay.
I love him.
What's his best trick?
Sleeping.
Sleeping?
Yeah.
Him and I could get along great.
We do. That's why I like him. You have a dog?
I wish.
You're going to get one.
I don't know.
I mean, I sneeze when he's around. It's all good.
So you're allergic too?
I mean, they've never told me that, but I know I sneeze a lot.
Yeah. All right, Ross. Well, thanks for walking and talking, brother.
Thank you.
Have fun.
All right. So my
My favorite part about this interview is we went to Bubba earlier, and he had no idea who was driving the 4-car.
And he did the interview with the driver of the 4-car.
Come on, man. Short memory. The heat is definitely getting to him.
Definitely hotter down there, obviously. Very hot conditions.
Somebody get that boy a hat so his brain starts working better. All right, so we're coming to pit stops here. And honestly, this is where Christopher Bell's day usually shines bright every week, is when they come to pit road. These guys have done a great job for the 20 car all year. They've put him in position to win a number of races where, you know, they didn't have the track position, and today they've got a great handling car, and these guys have been on point all year.
There's no I in team, man. I tell you what, it takes everybody. You know, you got to have a fast, hot rod. You got to do your job inside the car behind the wheel, and a good pit crew does certainly help everything out.
And pit stall means a lot here. I think Cole Custer has the first pit stall. That's quite the advantage, and that's going to be tough for this 20 team to be able to come out because in front of him, because a 00 is going to be right on his bumper going into the pit road. So even with the same pit stop time, the 00 beat him on the rolling time as they come down pit road. So Blaney, what you got?
Well, Tyler Reddick, man, he was ripping the top. That's really what he does. He finds that outside lane really well. Just a little bit too loose to start off a run. They're going to tighten him up a little bit of wedge. Says he doesn't need a water. He's good. Bubba, what do you got?
Yeah, right here, Noah Gregson coming in. He is 2 numbers tight on exit. It shoves the nose. And looks like they're going to do 4 tires of adjustment. And with the ice pack, he's already getting hot. All for you, Eric.
Mr. Rebell down to his pit stall. He started the last run tight. With 10 to go, he got really tight. So they're going to do an air pressure adjustment and try to free that thing up. As my 20 boys go to work on that thing, trying to get her down and away. Cole Custer, he's coming into his box. He was tight in the center, edgy off the corner. He asked for some help just through the center of the corner to try to get himself better up on the exit. They're going to do an air pressure adjustment as well. And it looks like an issue on pit road for him.
A number of issues. We see him working on the front of the car. It looks like they had trouble on the right rear tire.
I think he's got damage from that debris, guys.
He must. You see them working on the front there.
I knew something.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, big damage. Man, that's unfortunate.
Here's a replay of the damage.
Gaping hole.
Yeah, that's a big split.
What is that over there, guys? It looks like some sort of part. What is that?
I don't know what that is, but that damage right below the grill there is huge. And here's that piece of debris that we saw. Yeah, that's a pretty heavy piece.
Right into his car. Look at that.
Oh, I mean, what do you... Jeez. There's really nothing you can do. He obviously couldn't see it, and you can't avoid it going that fast. And once it bounces off a car in front of you, it's the same thing when you go down the highway. Someone hits one of those recaps on the side of the highway, pops up in front of you. What do? You're going to get damage. And fortunately, it's early in the race, 150 laps to go. He's going to be all right.
Well, let's go down to Ryan and see if he's got a little more on this.
Yeah, I got a little bit of information. You guys talked about that damage and crush panel or piece of debris, and Justin Haley's team in the 11, they thought that crush panel came out of their car, flattened their right front tire, and still got on the racetrack. So that's what I'm hearing. Might be false. I'm a terrible reporter, but that's just what I'm hearing right now.
We're with you on that, Ryan. Let's go see what Christopher Bell has to say, Clint.
Let's check him out. Hey, Christopher Bell, it's Boyer, Logano, and Harvick up in the booth. You got us?
Yes, sir.
Man, you're holding pretty wheel. A little eventful there to get started. Got in the wall, but no harm, no foul. You drove up, took the lead. How you feeling so far?
I feel good right now. Started struggling a little bit there last couple, so hopefully we can get it to hang on a little bit better here.
You didn't look like you were struggling too much. We're wondering, the AC's on pretty cold up here. Is it hot in them cars today?
Pretty toasty.
All right, buddy, we're watching, putting on a show.
You know, Clint, I kind of feel like maybe he was a little bit anxious in the car right there. Was he a little caught off guard by your enthusiasm?
Look at the
water.
He's hot.
Feel good until it boils.
His face was.
Welcome back to our Charlotte studios. It's a NASCAR Xfinity Series drivers only broadcast from Charlotte Motor Speedway. Checking out Ricky Stenhouse, Brad Keselowski, end of the first stage. Christopher Bell with his 5th stage win. Ricky, what stands out to you?
Well, I think what stands out to me is he probably has in the back of his mind that he needed every point that he had last year to get to Homestead. They struggled a little bit in the playoffs, so I think now he's like, I got to keep the gas down and keep winning these stages so he can rack up as many points as he can, but definitely looked really strong. He said he wanted his car a little bit better on the long run.
And Chad, Cole Custer was right there with them. We saw the damage right before the end of stage 1. What are they thinking? What's it like as a team to go through that? Can they recover from this?
I honestly think they can. We were talking about it during the break. There's a lot of comers and goers right now. And the one thing that I've seen interesting about that 00 car is the short run speed and being able to capitalize on other people when they don't necessarily have the speed at the beginning of the run. Looks like they fixed the car pretty well to me. Had a pretty gaping hole in there from that crush panel. So they got it all fixed up, lost some track position. I think what's important for those guys right now is to make sure that they keep him in check, because it's really easy on a hot day like this for the drivers to get aggravated, lose their temper, and go out there and put themselves in a bad spot.
All right, well, that's how the race is unfolding here. End of stage 1, down to the track with Eric Jones.
Down here with Mike Shiplet on pit road. Mike, it looked like you had a decent amount of damage. Were you guys able to get it patched up enough to where you feel confident that you can get back up to the front?
Yeah, it looks like we got our Ford Mustang patched back up. Whatever was on the track there went through the bottom of our nose, so we got it patched up. We'll see how it goes here. If not, we still got another yellow before the last half of the race, so we get it fixed up before the end of the race, get us back where we need to be.
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right, guys. Well, we're coming back to the green flag here this time around. We see Brandon Jones up front. He's had a little bit of success here in the ARCA series. Tyler Reddick, another solid pit stop. And so a lot happened on pit road. So let's take a look at the fastest pit stops presented by Xfinity.
You know, what I noticed there is the 20 car is not on that list, and he lost some spots. He came in first, went out third. And on that bottom lane, it'll be interesting to see how that bottom lane hangs on this restart after a few laps on that peak.
That's because we bragged on him.
I'd say Kevin jinxed him on that.
That's what I was thinking. Here we go.
What a push up top there to be able to get the 19 out front there. Noah Gragson did a good job timing that restart. And that's, man, it means so much to have a good push behind you. It helps you so much as the leader.
You know, you saw that bottom line. Those cars actually spun their tires. A 20 of Christopher Bell, we were talking about him. And that's all it takes. You know, a car behind you, I said it before, you're only as good as that car, that push behind you on these restarts. He spun his tires at least a little bit, and that outside line just took off.
Especially here in the middle of the day.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard to get new tires to grip on the restarts and not spin. And if you have one guy in your lane that spins the tires, it backs the whole lineup.
And we've been here for years and years and years, and we've always, the outside line was never the place to be on a restart. That traction compound, Kevin, you talked about it earlier. I mean, that's a game changer as far as restarts are concerned at this track.
Did you guys see how fast the 20 car just shot up the racetrack in front of the 98? That was incredible. Must have got back by him or something. I missed something. But, boy, he went from the bottom to the top in a hurry.
It's just such an important time. These restarts, your car, you know, your grip level's down. You've got to set your car up free on the front side of these runs to be good on the back side of a run. So you got your hands full. You're trying to navigate through traffic. You're 2, 3 wide. You know, this line here that you were talking about, that's just pulling up and blocking that guy. That's a dirt move, Joey.
That's quite the pulling up, and it didn't quite work because the 98 got back in front of him.
Almost got in the back of him.
But he didn't want to get trapped on that bottom lane, and he said, you know what, I'm going to throttle up, get in front of you, figure it out when I get there. Those two dirt guys know how to react to those slide jobs.
Eric, what do you have on the 22?
Hey, guys, I just heard that the 22 got in the wall and knocked the crush panels in on this car. A bad day for that, knowing how much air is going to be coming in that car and not the kind of air you're going to want. What's it going to be like today up there from you guys about how he's going to have to deal with this for the next 100 or so laps?
Yeah, you knock the crush panels out of the right side. That's where your exhaust comes out. So all that exhaust goes right inside the car. Way, way hotter temperatures. It would be interesting to see if that thermometer, if there's one in that car, goes up because of that.
And we all run filters to try to keep the carbon dioxide out of, you know, your helmet. I mean, that's where, you know, the air you're breathing. But still, when you knock those crush panels out, you're going to have some exhaust fumes inside the car, which makes it a dangerous situation. But we all try to do the best we can to make sure that we get the freshest air inside the car, because safety obviously number one. In
you know it immediately. It's that drastic of a change. You know it immediately.
An unbelievable save right there.
That's really good. Hey, I think he's loose, guys.
Wow. You know, and it just shows you the difference in being in that wake of the car in front of you. It takes, you know, we've been talking about it. We're talking 400 to 600 pounds of downforce off your car when you're in the wake of that car in front of you, and that's what you see right there. Just took the air off of him, and he was super loose.
And we were talking about the fastest car on the racetrack. That car led almost the whole first stage. he gets in third gear because of a pit stop that wasn't as fast as he needed to be. Next
Game
thing you
changer.
know, you're in traffic. Your car handles different. You're really loose in traffic, apparently, for Christopher Bell, and that's what happens.
And the one thing that comes to my mind is the end of that first stage when he started to fall back towards those guys. You noticed that as the stage ended. And right now, you know, I don't know what happens is you go over those bumps, especially in turn 3, and if your car starts to get loose over those bumps as you go, it starts to get looser as the day goes on, as those bumps seem to get worse. So, Bubba, what do you have on the 10?
Yeah, well, I know we usually like to make our car better for when we start practice, but Austin Dillon in the 10 car, he wants to go back to how they started practice, so they're really missing it on something right now. Not happy with his race car.
Well, you can see Cole Custer coming up through there with the damage and still, you know, passing a lot of cars and making headway to the front. One thing I liked about that Mike Shiplett in his interview, calm, cool, and collected. You know, when you're in a driver, you have something like that happens, it's completely out of your control. You lose your mind, right? We lose our minds. You're super frustrated and mad, and man, that calming voice that I heard in that interview is something that just kind of calms the waters and gets you back to business.
Claire, are you the calm guy inside the
Joey, I heard your radio too, buddy. I heard you.
We all kind of lose our minds inside the race car from time to time, that's for sure. Welcome back to Charlotte Motor Speedway, and we are under caution, and this is why. We've seen Austin Cindric have a handful today, and finally he ran out of steering wheel on this one and
you know,
wound
he
up
saved
spinning
the
it
car,
around.
Kevin. I mean,
he did save the car.
Definitely had his hands full all day long, but he's going to live to see another chance at it at least. Definitely wants some new tires, some more adjustments on that car, and he'll get them right here because he kept it out of the wall.
Oh,
ooh, that guy did
some
not.
damage. You see the 68 in the wall there just got loose. Probably the same thing that Austin Cindric did. See the 00 on pit road. What do you have down there, Eric?
Yeah, it looks like they're doing some more repairs to the front of the car here. No adjustments of tires. Just want to get that patched up a little bit better. Extra time, might as well come in, clean it up, try to get all that residue on there, get that tape to stick a little bit better here so they don't have to work on it the rest of the race.
And then we see Austin Cindric coming in to fix those flat spotted tires that he went around with in turn 2. Coming back from Charlotte. Welcome back to Charlotte Motor Speedway, and as we look at these pictures, how cool is it that you get to accomplish something that your dad did? And I know for me, having my son around, and I know Dave was always one of the favorites in the garage for me. He's just a great guy, and to this day is a great guy, and Ryan has obviously been successful as well. Ryan, how cool is that you get to share the same stats as your dad at a particular racetrack like this?
Yeah, that was pretty neat. You know, I don't think a lot of fathers and sons could say they did that, and I remember he was with me in victory lane that day here at Charlotte, and I actually missed his win back in '06, but that's very special, and he's actually racing right across the street tonight. So right when this race is done, I'm gonna go over there and get a little dirty.
Ryan, who'd you beat that day? I can't remember who.
I don't know. I schooled some old guy on a restart. I'm not really sure.
I set him up for that one, so he did beat me that day. So it was a good race right up until the end. But man, it sucks finishing second.
Boy, you know, we both had them. You know, Dave as a teammate, just a racer, right? Head down, digging all the time, and oh, I didn't think he saw that. Sorry about that, Adam. Literally, I'm sitting back here listening to Joey, watching Joey talk, and over his shoulder I see Double A back there, just completely disgusted with the effort that we're putting forth. And the good news is, just like I told him under break, I'm like, man, I'm telling you, I would go to your bosses as soon as this thing is over and renegotiate.
I agree.
I mean, they have this fresh in their mind of what this is. Let's do it. I think timing is everything in life, and this would be a great time to renegotiate because clearly we are not capable of doing
the fact that he can come up with something to say every time we come in and out of break. I was out of things after the opening, so yeah. Adam, you need a raise.
But I was saying, you know, the Blaneys and the families, you know, you see the Elliots and the tradition, Earnhardt. You see an Earnhardt out here again on the racetrack today. It's a Burton, you know, on the racetrack. Those names are what formed this sport, and it's so cool that that those names are still out there and in another generation.
Let's hear some radio communication here.
If you can hear me, drive up toward the wall and ride the top lane. Yeah, okay, you can hear me, perfect. Okay, so we can't I hear you. Top is tight, door is loose for hand signal here.
Yeah, Jeb's having a long day. He had some damage on the right front now. I haven't had this struggle with the radio before, but, you know, it has to be confusing for him and definitely a longer day than he wanted.
Well, on a day where you need to know where to run on the racetrack,
Absolutely.
and let alone clear and when to pit and all the other things that come with that, it's definitely handicapping his situation to not make it as good as it needs to be.
For sure, but at least he can hear his team. They may not be able to hear him, but at least he can hear his team, which will help him with the strategy.
So a big jump from Brandon Jones on the outside, but you saw that inside line stack up and really have a good push here, so it'll be interesting to see. He cleared him. Tyler Reddick to the lead for sure.
Get the push.
And what I saw in common there is Noah Gregson. He was able to push to the 19 to the lead to restart before. Now he was third. He pushed a 2 to the lead. He's a great pusher on these restarts, and I'm sure that's something that these competitors will take a note of when you're the leader trying to figure out what lane you want to restart in.
And you almost have to be careful as your leader anymore to not get too good a jump. You saw Brandon Jones get that big jump, and it caught them all off guard, including that car behind him of Chase Briscoe. And then next thing you know, you're past getting into one.
Well, you definitely want the second row and the third row to be as close to your bumper as possible, because all it does is drag you down. And you see Christopher Bell, that little looseness that he had earlier sure doesn't seem to have slowed him down on his aggressiveness and in the way that he's driving the car.
And maybe that caution allowed him his rear tires to cool off after that. I mean, there's smoke coming off the rear tires. Those things were hot. They were going to keep getting looser and looser. That caution was much needed for Christopher Bell.
You know, we just saw Jeb Burton getting into the wall in that wake of a car in front of us. He just get extremely tight anyway off of turn 4, but when you get off and you cross a wake, it gets into the wall. His fender damage actually looks like it's broke.
And here's the restart right there. You see the 9 pushing the 2 physically on his bumper, pushing him, while you see the 19 and the 98 a little further apart, and that's just going to push the 2 just ahead of the 19. The 2 is going to make a great move by coming up to block that move. There's nowhere for the 19 to go as a 9 kind of blocks him in there. That's a great restart.
And then we see some light contact by Jeb Burton, and with these bodies that they have on these cars, that won't be an issue at all.
You know, I actually saw that the front fender was split a little bit from the nose, so it'd be interesting to see what that does to him.
Ryan, did we have a driver change?
So, not yet. There might be a driver change coming. Matt Mills in the 5 car doesn't feel very good, so Josh Malicki is standing by. You don't really see driver changes too often.
Well, I tell you, as we went through the 70s, 80s, even into the early 90s, driver changes weren't uncommon. You look back in the record books, 60s, 70s, and somewhere in that time period, there was a lot of different drivers that won in other people's cars, but it is definitely one of those days where it can catch you off guard as hot as it is.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, this is something that we all knew going into last week how hot it was going to be this week, and we've all been, you know, hydrating ourselves and getting ready. No different than these guys right here. But it always catches you off guard. You can prepare yourself as much as you think you possibly can. You get in that car and you're like, oh boy, it's hot.
And I always feel like this race is, 3 wide here. Austin Cindric on the bottom.
I believe the 22 is probably on tires.
He's got the fresh tires for sure. But I always feel like this race is like the first really hot race of the year most of the time. And that first race of the year that's hot always seems to get your attention a little more than the rest of them.
We're here in a 00, got into the wall here. Here's a replay in a lot of dirty air, trying to make up times. He's still on old tires. Like we've talked about, that's not bad contact with these bodies on there. He's probably going to be all right.
I like that. I like these bodies. I like the fact that you can get into the wall, and that does not ruin your day. He will live to get back in there and get tires on it and get up through.
Well, he's still racing, and definitely can thank the body for that. But we are going to take a break, but you won't miss a minute of it.
Beautiful but very warm Sunday afternoon.
Campgrounds are full.
Happy race day, everybody. It's going to be a great afternoon for racing.
You can't ask for anything more special than what we have here tonight.
Drivers, start your engines!
Let the party begin.
NASCAR fans, are you ready to take your Wi-Fi to the next level? Then you need Xfinity XFi, a more powerful way to stay connected. It gives you super fast speeds for all your devices, Wi-Fi coverage that leaves no room behind, and lets you control your network with the XFi app. It's the ultimate Wi-Fi experience. Xfinity, official partner of NASCAR.
When I book at Hilton.com, I get to select my room from the floor plan, free Wi-Fi, and the price match guarantee.
So with Hilton, there is no catch.
Yeah, the only catch is I'm never leaving. No, I'm serious. I live here now. Book at Hilton.com and get the Hilton price match guarantee.
Howdy, folks. I'll never forget that fateful day when an easily avoidable accident transformed my KFC biscuits into my most delicious creation yet. New KFC Cinnabon Dessert Biscuits, free with a 10-piece meal.
This is more than a race.
The Coca-Cola 600, here we go.
This is America's favorite weekend. When NASCAR comes home to Charlotte. It's a chance to honor those who've served.
Let's just remember all those who sacrificed everything for us.
And after 600 miles, this is everything and a little bit more. The Coca-Cola 600, Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern on Fox and the Fox Sports app.
Think David can defeat Goliath. Think again. This Goliath isn't just bigger or faster. She wants it more. So let the Davids take aim. Because once they come face to face with this Goliath, they'll quickly realize they never had a chance.
Welcome back to Charlotte Motor Speedway, and as we got ready today, it was tight. I'm just now to the point where I stopped sweating. I can't imagine what the guys in the studio had to go through. Oh, they didn't have enough makeup for us in the booth.
It took all of it.
Yeah.
She's got to go replenish her supply for sure.
I got wiped with a cooling rag first.
You got a cooling rag? I did not. They didn't offer me a cooling rag, did they? You?
I mean, I thought it was nice outside. It's nice and cool. I don't know why. I mean, you gonna be able to make it tomorrow?
Oh, I'll be fine in the car, but I'm gonna sweat. I can promise you that.
We're all gonna sweat.
Yeah, we are.
I have a sweating problem, but man, this is fun. Fun to be able to do this once a year. I can't believe they let us keep coming back, but Eric, what do you have down in the pits?
Well, we keep talking about it today, how hot it is. Brandon Jones actually has an interesting way of keeping cool. Other than just putting ice packs on his chest during the race, he likes to eat foods that can turn into water. Watermelon, cantaloupe, grapes, instead of actually drinking a lot of fluids. I know I've been drinking a lot of fluids. I've never stocked up on watermelon before the race, but maybe we'll give it a shot.
Well, we know there's probably one other driver that does something like that, Ross Chastain.
Yeah. He's our go-to guy for that. That works. He's fixing to be in business. Their farm is going to blow up within their racing community.
Do you guys eat during the race?
No.
I'm scared to death to eat. There's nothing worse than riding around in this car strapped into those seatbelts with a stomach ache.
I don't know how to get the food under my helmet and all.
Yeah, I'm with you.
You know, I was interested as Christopher Bell, Kevin, got in a second there, if he would be able to draft up to him. I was kind of interested. You know, with our cars and our Cup cars, we can change the way they go. We can take drag out of them. We can make them, you know, put downforce in them by raising and lowering the back of the cars. Can they do that in these cars, Kevin? Does it, you know, make the same? I guess
he's going to be smarter than that. He's running more than I have.
I don't know if I'm
do they feel
smarter than that, but I think there's
with these
probably
bodies.
an ideal, you know, ride height that they find that's probably the most efficient, right? It's all about finding that balance. You can adjust the rear heights of these cars. You know, I think you do have a ride height rule in this still that you have to be able to meet. But, you know, as the car travels in compression on the racetrack, you can still adjust that like we can. It just has to come back to a certain height after the race.
Well, it always impressed me, you know, this year with our Cup cars, as you adjust those heights, the difference that it makes and how fast that car goes down the straightaway and, you know, how it corners in the corner. I was really curious to see if they did the same thing in the Xfinity cars. 20 car in the wall. That's a second place car, guys.
He's off the pace.
Oh, this is hard into the wall.
Yeah, I'd say
still green here yet.
He's
the right side heavy guys. Be ready.
It's like a broken ball joint too. I'd say their days.
Oh, they're the
19th in the wall.
Goodness. Same thing. Right front, both right front.
Pit road now.
2 Gibbs cars like that. You got to wonder if it's a setup on the final lap of the stage. Here you see the 20 stayed out, rolling around on that right front tire. You hope that tire doesn't come apart because that's really going to be the end of your day. So interesting strategies where the 19 pitted, the 20 stays out on and they both have right front tires down. And here you see Tyler Reddick making it happen, getting that stage win.
Tyler Reddick going to win the stage, had 0 problems, and has won stage 2, his 3rd stage win this season.
How interesting. Within what, a half a lap?
Oh, there it goes.
And see, Brandon Jones, in my opinion, did the right thing. Come to pit road, take your medicine, because when the right front tire blows and starts ripping the fender off,
you're going to pay the price.
That's when your day is over, when the fender's gone.
And here's another case, though. If that was our cars with a steel body and that tire came apart like that, that whole right side of the car is gone.
Absolutely.
And it's interesting here. I haven't seen this with the new composite body, that it doesn't look to be as bad as it would be with our cars, although there is way more damage now since that thing's come apart than what there would have been. And then you see it where it's split to the fender to the bumper split.
Oh man, he's
already in the wall there. It's hard to say from that angle.
Do you think could there have been something on the track? I mean, everybody was running on the outside. It is interesting that both of those are team cars.
Well, we've got a lot for our pit road reporters to digest here. Hopefully they're up to the task. We'll find out when we come back. And we have fire here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. And this fire is probably going to end Christopher Bell's day, I would say. Wouldn't you guys?
Yeah, catastrophic. You know, it's interesting that the call that they made. Yeah, you can see it right there. Getting out of the car, their day is over. Blown tire. Crazy. Both teammates within what, a half of a lap, within a lap of the end of the stage. What a wild ending.
And you got different strategies going on there. Kevin, go ahead with this promo.
Yeah, the San Francisco Giants host the Arizona Diamondbacks in the NL West Showdown. Catch the action next on FS1 or the Fox Sports app.
Yeah, what I was saying here, though, is that the strategy between these 2 Gibbs cars when the right front tire went down was completely different. The 19... Here's the 19 into wall. Well,
gosh,
in the wall that
already
early.
too.
I feel like that right front went.
Tell. I would say you're right. You can't tell if there was something. It was just something to both teammates. You know, obviously they're going to be similar on cambers and things like that. Air pressures, you know, that would allude to both cars having that trouble. But the difference is that guy Brandon Jones came in and took his licking up front, right?
Yeah.
And put tires on it. Christopher Bell, they tried to stay out.
In Christopher Bell's defense, he was trying to stay out to stay on the lead lap because
that's the box they're in.
Yeah, they're in that box. So we'll be back. Welcome back to Charlotte Motor Speedway, and guys, that was an interesting stage 2 to say the least to close out there. You see Christopher Bell, our stage 1 winner, Tyler Reddick, our stage 2 winner, but our stage 1 winner, he's no longer playing.
No, big change of events. Blown tires, second, third place cars. Tyler Reddick, we talked to him earlier in the race. We knew that he was going to be high, wide, and handsome, right? And as this track keeps wearing in and they're pushing that line higher and higher, guess who's in there? Tyler Reddick.
All right, Ryan, lead us off.
Well, Tyler Reddick, been really happy with that car most of the day. Really good at the end of that run. Just needs to be a little bit tighter firing off. And also the 98 of Chase Briscoe, just a little bit too loose to run the very top of the racetrack right now. What do you got, Bubba?
Yeah, on the 9 car, no Gregson. A little free end, but tight center. His biggest problem he wants is just to free up the center, get a little bit more roll speed through there. He seems like the track is getting tighter as well. They're doing 4 tires and some adjustments and some Sunoco fuel, and they're on their way. Eric?
And the 22, Austin Cindric, obviously had a little bit of an eventful day coming in. Trying to make some more adjustments on this car to get it a little bit more secure for Austin to go out there and be able to be a little bit more aggressive down and away 4 tires.
Well, you see Chase Briscoe leading them off pit road. We haven't talked about him today much, guys, but they had a great pit stop. And in the background here, you see the 00 car getting more work on the front. And we saw that he hit the wall again, had some more right side damage. But Chase Briscoe's done a great job.
Let's see if Tyler Reddick is up for talking to us again here. Tyler Reddick, it's Boyer back up in the booth. Man, I tell you what, looking pretty good. We knew when that track got high, wide, and handsome, you were going to be our guy holding a pretty wheel. How's it going out there?
Well, it was going really good till I hit pit road. I've just had a rough time out in pit road today, but flying aces are doing a great job. We'll get back up in the mix of this thing and see what we got. But yeah, Chris Rose run me down, and I thought, all right, I'll pick up the pace a little bit and see what he's got. And then he blew a tire, and I got really worried there, but we're able to close it out.
This is definitely a different perspective for us up here in the booth, sitting in the AC, watching you guys sweat. How hot is it out there?
Man, I got to take my hat off to RCR. They got pretty nice cool boxes in this car. I'm having a fun time so far today. It's not nearly as hot as I thought it was going to be.
All right, buddy. We're enjoying watching. Good luck for the rest of the race.
Thank you, guys.
The beast.
It's never as hot when you're in the lead, is it?
No.
This guy is definitely not thinking that. He is wishing that his guys did a better job cooling him down.
Well, we've taken up enough of the time here in the caution. You think the studio's actually still there? Are you guys still in the studio?
We are here, and we're having a blast. Thanks for covering all this stuff for us, Kevin, Clint, Joey, and this has been an eventful stage, too. Look at Christopher Bell, playoff points leader, led 33 laps, won the first stage, Chad, and now he's in the garage.
He is. And I tell you what, every crew chief in the garage is taking notice of what just happened right there with the 19 and the 20 cars. Very interesting. Only 32 laps of green flag racing during that stage, and they both had a flat tire at the exact same lap. Every crew chief up and down pit road is taking notice because we've got 100 laps to go. Everybody knows we're going to have to pit and get some fuel in their race cars around 164 at the latest. But man, do the math. 32 laps, 2 blown tires. 100 laps to go, only 2 sets of tires. It doesn't add up.
That's bad math.
Yeah, it's not good. Not good.
As Brian Patty, my crew chief, says, bad math. But, you know, I look at Tyler Reddick. You know, I was looking at notes coming in. He's been the most consistent all year long. Got the best average finish out of the big 3. He's doing his part. No mistakes so far. The last stage to go, see if he can do it again and continue to extend that gap.
Absolutely, Ricky. Cole Custer had his troubles. We saw him run over the debris, get a hole in the nose. And now Christopher Bell's out. This race is in Tyler Reddick's hands. We'll see if anybody can take it away from him. What do you got down there in the pits, Eric Jones?
Yeah, I've actually got more info now on what's happened between the 19 and the 20 cars. It sounds like they both ran over the same piece of debris. We got the tire down here now in the pits of the 19 car. You can see right there, there's that puncture there. It sounds like they both had the same issue. The 19 came to pit road right away, got the tire on it, got the damage fixed, and he's able to continue on. The 20 car, Christopher Bell, tried to continue on to the stage break, tore that car up, and his day's over. So 2 different scenarios of the same issue. Interesting comeback.
Well, thank you, Eric. You draw much better circles than Artie does.
Guys, that's the kind of pit reporting we need to do our jobs. That is solid work right there, Eric Jones. Solid work.
Oh, look at Yoakum has to get himself in there. And you know, those guys are definitely doing a good job down there, but I wish we had the footage of the fire extinguisher blasting you guys in the face. That would have been way better TV.
Yeah, that was great. We still got the residue sitting down here. It was a great experience.
I can't tell. Yoakum's hair's so gray that I can't tell if he had any in there or not.
That's pretty funny. Well, we're coming to green here. We're about to go for the final stage here. Everyone going for the win.
Yeah, and like we talked earlier, Chase Briscoe, he's been in the hunt.
New blood up front.
We haven't been talking about him, but he's in control of the race, so we're about to see what he can do.
Immediately, Justin Allgaier goes 3 wide top. This worked for him once before. He's going to try it again here. I think he's going to clear the 98 of Chase Briscoe. He's going to have his hands full down this backstretch and trying to get this run and have a hole to go with it.
And that's so frustrating, and that's part of being, a new driver, a rookie driver, right? I mean, he was looking for that push to put him into the lead, and unfortunately, he put him 3 wide and took the position from him.
Oh, here, here's the 86 again. He hit the wall pretty hard this time.
That's the second time for him.
Caution out.
Definitely way harder than the time before.
That one's going to need a new A-arm and probably a lot more work than they can do today at the track. So they have put that car through a beating. That's the 3rd time that they've had that car on the fence this weekend. Just got to lose.
Yeah, it's just a handful. Yeah. But, going back to that restart, I mean, he was looking for the push, right? And got 3 wide, and I can guarantee you this. He learned from that. He learned from this push right here, or lack thereof, right? And he's going to have a little bit more aggression the next time. I think he is behind him now on the next restart.
Looks like he spun the tires there a little bit. A couple restarts ago, he was the pusher and spun the tires. It looked like he spun the tires there again.
Well, you know, when we were listening to his in car, you could hear how hard, how aggressive he got on the throttle, and I'd say there's a good chance that he did.
And that's one of those situations that, you know, you want that car behind you, right, to push you ahead, but that doesn't mean you can trust him. That guy still wants to get to the lead.
Never trust a racer.
Never do it.
The 19 car, Brandon Jones, got the free pass, so his decision paid off for him to pit. This weekend, NASCAR comes home to Charlotte with 600 miles of wheel-to-wheel action. Harvick, Boyer, Logano, and the rest of NASCAR's top drivers face off as NASCAR races into summer. The Coca-Cola 600 tomorrow. It all begins with FS1 race day at 4:30 Eastern. Then coverage moves to Fox at 5:30 with the green flag at 6.
That was a good read. I
like that read.
I feel like you upgraded some of the names that were on there.
I think
perfect.
That's
the power of being in this booth, right?
Bubba, 23 car. John Hunter Nemechek.
Yes, thank you. All right, well, I don't need to say anything anymore. Tip of the cap to him. He's having a great day so far. Running P4 right now. And I will give some of the credit to his veteran crew chief up top, Chad Norris. He was my crew chief back in 2019. We ended up qualifying second and running fifth, so not a bad day. And another shout out to Front Row Joe, who was racing actually earlier. He's already parked it. He's over here being a fan and probably being a spotter and crew chief for his son, John Hunter.
Well, then. There you see Joe Nemechek. A lot of wins in this Xfinity Series.
Absolutely.
Bubba Wallace, then and now. Oh, man.
I mean, if it wasn't for that beard he's trying to grow, outside of that, he looks pretty much the same. Look at that.
Hey, you're not sweating.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, I am. Hard.
That's all right. You're still styling down there.
I still look good, though.
That's right.
That's right.
Confidence is everything. He's got a handful.
I was going to say, turn back around.
There's a good beard.
He's no sweat there.
He's got good hair, too.
I feel like he could do himself a favor just by getting rid.
Is it okay to look that tough and have an umbrella? I don't know. Ryan, go ahead.
Well, I'm here with Christopher Bell, and we were just talking about, you know, you and the 19 ended up blowing right fronts in the same lap, and
yeah, I don't know. I felt like my balance was really good. My car was running good there, and you know, I had no warning of blowing a right front. I was actually a little bit loose that entire run, so I guess we ran something over. I pile drove the fence, and then rolling down the back straightaway, saw my teammate do it there too. So bummer, but we had a really fast green super today.
glad you're all right. Thanks, you guys.
It's interesting here, Kevin. The leader, Tyler Reddick, took the inside this time. That's the first time we've seen that.
I'm not sure it's going to work out for him here. He didn't get ahead as much as he needed to in front of Noah Gragson. Gregson's going to have the momentum up top. It's going to be about Reddick trying to pull him back, side draft him down the straightaway. It doesn't look like he's going to be able to do as much as he wants to. They're still going to be side by side, 2, 3, and 4.
That 9 car has fired off good on every restart that we have had today.
But that 2 is fast.
All right, guys. Let's crank it up. Sponsored by Kawasaki. Let the good times roll.
Shield hit by 3. Clear by 2 out back in line. Clear high behind him, still middle. Get a little momentum. Shield him, 3 back 22 to run the middle. Clear up, clear up, clear up, clear up. Trying to come back, clear up all the way, all the way, all the way, all the way. There you go. Good job. Beautiful. Still out there, 11. There's a clearing.
Still there. He's still going to be there on entry. Still there.
Clear. 5-1, he's at the top, and
he's going to fill the hole here. Watch your top outside. Still inside. 18's coming to your bumper. Still outside here. Still there. Clear him again. Clear the 9. On the bottom. Light clear up on active by 1. Come with a run again. Clear up, get up, get up, get up. Get to the bottom. We get tight in line. Still clear.
That's always one of my favorite parts of the broadcast right there, listening to Crank It Up. And from us, we do a lot of things up here that aren't very good, but the audio crew, we want to congratulate them because they just won their 10th Emmy.
And I think you heard it right there, the reason why. Always interesting to me to hear other spotters. You know, the only one that you ever know is the one that's in your ear. You know, you hear those other spotters and how they talk about those cars around them and how to navigate around traffic, where the line is. Always something to be learned up here. That's why I like coming up here.
But a lot of people don't appreciate the sights and the sounds and the smell of a race until you actually come to a racetrack and actually witness it, because it is so much different in person. So congrats to the audio crew. Great job, and love listening to it. Eric, what do you have for us?
Yeah, kind of an interesting story from the 18 under caution. He managed to knock his air hose off of his helmet, which obviously on a day like today is something you're going to want. Apparently they've got our very own Stretch Armstrong in the car. He was able to reach up, back around, grab the hose, and get it back on his helmet. So pretty crazy. I've never actually heard of somebody actually getting it back on.
All right, Eric, hold on there. Did you get that line, the Stretch Armstrong from Yoakum, or did you come up with that yourself?
Well, yeah, it just kind of, it came to me, you know, it felt right to use it in this moment.
Okay, good job. See the 23 of John Hunter Nemechek getting the wall right there. Let's see what happened over here.
That's just
loose.
It's getting loose. That's entering high. You want to enter as high as you possibly can to get right next to that wall to try to get the benefit.
Well, then he was trying to, it looks like he was trying to get to pit road, and the 10 of Austin Dillon got in the back of him. Guys, I'm wondering, is that a product of maybe that traction compound maybe wearing out? Is that what we're seeing?
That brings a caution out.
We've got a caution.
Here's a replay of the 23 again. He just gets a little high, gets into the wall. Bubba, what do you got down there?
Yeah, like you guys seen, it looks like they got a little loose end. Looks like they're only going to do rights only, pull some fenders, make sure everything's clear from tire clearance. But having a strong day. I don't know, hopefully it wasn't my jinx, but young driver, rookie stripes, overstepped it a little bit, but off they go. Nothing bad. Didn't pull too many fenders there.
Well, they did 2 tires there to try to stay ahead of the leader. To try to stay on a lead lap, or maybe one down. I'm not sure if he lost one yet, but you know, once you go 2 down in these races, that's pretty much the end. The chances of getting a wave around on a day like today is going to be tough. And then you got to get another caution to get the lucky dog. It just makes your day so hard. And poor Austin Dill didn't know he was pitting out of nowhere and hits the brakes, and Austin actually runs in the back of him while he was pitting there, and probably gets some nose damage from that.
I think the 23 hit the wall down there and probably thought everything was. He was probably either going too fast and hit the wall again right in front of the 10, but he definitely had a flat right front tire, or a low one for sure.
Guys, I'm starting to get my feelings hurt up here.
Why?
You guys did not answer me. I asked if the traction compound is wearing out. What do you guys think?
Well,
what are we seeing here? Why are these cars slipping?
The one thing that I can tell you about turn 1 are all the bumps that start to build up through the race, and as that compound runs long into the race, it starts to wear out, and then you go over the bumps and it starts to free that car up. But maybe we need somebody like Chad to help us out here, because we're just guessing. Chad?
Yeah, absolutely, guys. We were talking about that just a little bit earlier. Although it looks like that the traction compound is actually still on the racetrack by that dark shadow, that's actually just a stain, and we would lose a little bit of that traction compound as you move through the day. Now, at nighttime, it seems to retain a little bit better. Now, what's really interesting is we're not in our fuel window yet, so these guys cannot come down pit road and put on tires just yet. So everybody's going to have a pretty exciting restart here on their scuffed tires. And another little nugget, the last 2 races here, we've had 12 and 13 cautions. So I think that we're quite a ways away from being quite done just yet, guys.
Yeah, I think he's right.
Yeah, I think he's got some Larry McReynolds nuggets going on right there.
and what we're seeing as a common theme are all the marks on the right side. Bubba, what do you have?
Yeah, we're covering the 10 car right now. I just come down for 4 tires and adjustment, and I can't read Regan's notes here, so I don't know what he wrote down for him, but he's in and out, Snoco fuel, be on his way.
Well, I don't even know where to go with that.
We're going to struggle with this Emmy on our behalf.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
The Emmy got good sound. The Emmy, thank God we have good sound. You're right. Welcome back to Charlotte Motor Speedway, and we've got some pretty cool facts that we're kind of involved in here, Clint. I don't think a lot of people realize the amount of success that RCR Racing has had in the Xfinity Series over the years. This is the number 2 car, and obviously Tyler Reddick's going to add to this as he goes through the years. And you were able to win a championship. I was able to win a championship, and that 2 car was pretty good for a number of years.
Oh, a lot of good people down there in the Xfinity, shop down there over the years. Always a lot of fun to get in that car. There was a lot of pride that went into getting that car. Back in the day, I got in that car. It was an AC Alsco car. It was one of my favorite looking paint schemes ever. It meant a lot to me to get that opportunity. And Tyler Reddick, man, he's making the best of his opportunity being in that 2 car as well.
I think Tyler Reddick is a great fit at RCR. And,
perfect.
I think, the way that he goes about things, the way that he carries himself, and the way that he races, that's what Richard likes. He likes a racer, and he loves the way that Tyler drives, in my opinion, with the, scraping the wall, not afraid to knock in the fender.
Fit factor's everything.
Yep.
And Richard's always had a keen eye for somebody that fits in. One thing I see right here, guys, is this 2 car and Tyler Reddick shows the outside this time. A little bit different.
We'll see how that works for him. And you see Cole Custer. He's coming back through the field. I think that's the car
is strong.
that Tyler Reddick is going to have to fight to try to win this thing. He's had one heck of a day, and he has bounced back more and more. So we'll see how this restart goes here.
Chase Briscoe got a much better restart than he did the time before, but that outside line has just got so much momentum coming off of turn 2.
Yeah, he's got no help down there at the bottom. No one pushing him. He's got no draft in front of him. He lost some spots on the backstretch and still doesn't have the preferred lane as he gets down into turn 3.
And we see that 0-0 with a huge arc into turn 3.
Ooh.
Wow.
People are getting antsy.
This is where it's going to get tough for Cole. Cole has to be patient on that bottom, try to hold the bottom. The problem is he went for the pass. Now the 98's going to get back by him.
2 positions.
Eric, what did he have on a 0-0?
Yeah, it's interesting listening to him over these last few yellows. He's been really fighting the clouds coming in and out of here. We've had a lot of cloud cover coming in the last 30 minutes or so, and the balance of his car has been shifting a lot, so he's been struggling to kind of tell these guys down here which way he really wants to go with these adjustments. So fighting that right now.
Well, and this is definitely, in my opinion, one of the most temperature, sun-sensitive racetracks that we go to. What do you guys think?
No doubt, for sure. For a lot of different reasons. As the sun goes down, you're going to get a lot of grip, and the balance changes a lot. But as this traction compound keeps wearing, that's going to change the balance as well. It's really hard for these teams and drivers to try to keep up with the balance, making the right adjustments as this race goes. That might be the toughest piece, and that's why sometimes we come here to Charlotte and we say, well, this car is the dominant car. He's going to go out there and win. And then next thing you know, the track temp changes a little bit, and next thing you know, they're not in the lead anymore. They lose their track position, and that's it.
Yeah, you can see the 0-0 Cole Custer. He keeps going to that bottom, and it's so easy to do. You get that run, you're like, man, I got to do something. I can't just follow the guy into the corner. Dives to the bottom, and lo and behold, the 98 is able to get by him. But then the 98 is on the bottom, and you can see the run that Cole Custer's getting back on him. So, you're kind of stuck in a situation where you got to try. The racer in you makes you want to try, but sometimes you'll pay the price. It's hard to figure out how to get that clean air.
It's so frustrating, too. If you're Cole Custer, I think he's actually faster than Chase right now, and he's been able to pass him, clear him, but he didn't have the momentum to continue down the straightaway and gets passed back. And man, he's just trying to find any lane possible to try to get some momentum because he knows he has a fast race car, but he's got to remember 78 laps to go, so he has plenty of time.
Well, let's get an update on the heat from Ryan Blaney down in the pits.
Down here in Tyler Reddick's pit, and you talk about the heat. You talk about some drivers pulling double duty. Austin Dillon today, this pit crew's pulling double duty. How they're dealing with the heat as well. A lot of these Xfinity crews today are Cup pit crews, Cup regulars. This is actually Austin Dillon's pit crew for tomorrow. So they're trying to stay cool with fans and shade and whatnot. And so it's, the drivers are hot, but these crews they're getting a pretty good workout as well. So it's actually pretty nice down here. I would
about how he gets to wear shorts, you know.
Yeah.
We're up here
tie thing on
here. Yeah, and he's wearing shorts.
He's his shorts on.
He's going to the pool or something.
You know, it's, man, you talk about frustration. It is super frustrating trying to navigate around a car, especially now that the line around this track is that the tires are worn out, this traction compound's wearing out. They are rim riding on the wall.
Bubba, what do you have on the 8?
Yeah, I'm not sure if his radio troubles are helping or hurting, but he's up to P8 right now. But they did do an update. They swapped out radios, but he can only talk under the caution. So putting together a good day. I'm still sweating down here, so I'd love to switch spots with you guys next year.
Well, Ryan Blaney could probably talk a little something about not having radio communication. He won the race in Pocono and was not able to talk to his team. And I know at Team Penske, we had a good time messing with him about that for a long time and talked about maybe disconnecting his radio every race.
Well, there are probably a number of crew chiefs that want our radios to be just like Jeff Burton's, that can only talk under the caution. And
I can promise you mine's one of them.
Guys, you see I call it a Darlington stripe, and today it's a Charlotte stripe on the right side of that car. That looks to be a pretty common theme. The right side of these cars are beat up. You see the tape or the decals hanging off the back bumper of John Hunter Nemech's car.
This is a mile-and-a-half track. I mean, can you believe you're seeing that damage? And again, we always keep going back to this car. They just withstand that damage, and that's where I get nervous. You know, we come up here because we like bench racing, we like selling our sport and talking about this Xfinity series, but we come up here and we learn. We're watching where these cars are running on this racetrack. We know that we're going to be enduring the same challenges as these cars do. Look at that slide job,
Same thing.
Saved it and then pays the price back, but man, he is going for it. His car is faster. He's trying to figure out a way around. I mean, literally, I can see myself being in that car trying to figure that out tomorrow night. The difference is if we get into the wall with our cars tomorrow night, we won't be living to see another lap.
Well, and I think that's what makes some of these drivers so aggressive is that they know I can hit the wall and it's going to be okay. You know, and I think right here, finally, Cole Custer's going to make this pass and complete it. He had enough run and momentum. He's going to stay up there. And he's mad.
Oh, yeah.
That's the frustration I was talking about.
I'm surprised that's not the number one. That's just kind of the, what the heck, man, you've held me up for a long time. I have a fast enough car to run down the leader. There's a Ford affiliation there. You want to be able to somewhat work together, but I understand that, hey, they're both trying to win the race, and it's a tough situation to be in.
Yeah, truth be told, you could hear Chase Briscoe get out of the gas right there as a teammate and pretty much finally give him the spot there. He didn't necessarily have to do that.
Well, we'll see where this all goes. And the group keeps moving. Welcome back to Charlotte Motor Speedway, and Tyler Reddick is still in control of this race, and he is taming the beast. They used to call this place the Beast of the Southeast, if you remember, Clint, back in the day. And Tyler Reddick has been a beast today.
Yeah.
All the way up there against the fence, and as we talked, you know, the groove has been moving around, and then you have the 00 car. He's got debris on the front grille. He's got the right side knocked off. He's got duct tape on the front.
What is he doing? They're blowing away. Yeah, he's only racing one car. Thank you.
And there's the debris that he hit earlier in the race that kind of started this chain of reactions for him, going backwards and trying to fix his car, get back up there. And they've done a good job fixing it. Obviously, he's still got speed, but there you see some debris on top of it, which is covering a fair amount of the grill, which I'm sure he's not getting airflow to that as it would in the beginning of the race before that damage. So it'll be interesting to see how hot it is. But the one good thing about that is only he knows how hot it is. And maybe he'll just keep her rolling.
And you heard him frustrated on the radio right there. Obviously, the 00 and the 98 are teammates. You know, and Cole kind of expecting him to cut some slack. But if you look right behind him, you know, it's not like he's driven away from the 98. The 98's got a good car, and both of those guys are, you know, running second and third and trying to race for a win. So, you know, it's a tough situation to decide what's the right thing to do.
And I love this angle here. Look at Cole in front of Chase here and how close he is to the wall on entry. That's where it takes the most guts. Look, I ran up on the wall. One little mistake, you're in it. It doesn't take much, but the closer you get, it kind of drives a wedge between the wall and the car, and that just packs air on the side and gives you a ton more grip. And that's what these drivers are finding right now, getting right up on that wall and boy, that takes some serious cojones, as some say, to make that happen.
Bubba, what do you have down there on pit road?
Well, I think, you know, I've kind of made the relation. It looks like the Ford drivers, whether it's Truck, Cup, or Xfinity, are the biggest ones to complain about being raced, throwing the hands out the window, talking about why they're racing me so hard. It's called racing, just FYI. I just noticed. I made that little fact. I've kind of figured things out. It's the Ford guys.
We're just used to winning, Bubba, that's all.
You know, it's interesting. I wonder if they're getting hot right here. You just saw Cole Cut. Oh, got Jeffrey Earnhardt's been in the fence pretty hard there. But going back to those teammates and that debris we were talking about and the temperature, Joey, that you made mention of. See, he got that debris off. He gave up that position, let Chase Briscoe get around him, and it pulled that debris off for him.
Eric, what do you have on the 00?
Yeah, just as that's happening, he was on the radio saying his water was plus 20, so that's obviously running pretty hot. It's a good thing he got that debris cleared up and out of the way.
Just something else to add to it. And you also see the, you know, Jeffrey Earnhardt. It looked like the right rear tire may have been down. Oh, and here you see him spinning out, which is going to draw the caution, which is good for him to be able to hopefully. Here's the third Gibbs car with a flat tire today. Kind of unbelievable. And then he decides to stay out on the racetrack when the caution comes out. So hopefully his tire doesn't shred like Christopher Bell's did.
You can see him in the back picture there, just slid up and couldn't keep it out of the wall. Pretty significant, you know, damage to the right side there.
And it's such a fine line in how hard you can drive it in the corner when you're running that high and be able to not slide the thing into the wall, and how much throttle you have to use. It's such a fine line.
And here's the thing about running the wall. The car doesn't drive the same every time you get there. Right? There's always something a little different. Your tire heat might be a little different, so you have a little less grip. There might be a different amount of cars in front of you, and you have a little dirtier air. Those things really affect it. And when you have no room for error, you're going to hit it eventually, and that's what we've seen happen. And then obviously that right rear tire flat and trying to get the pit road. And
I think a big part of it, too, is this traction compound wearing out. They're chasing the traction compound up the racetrack closer and closer to the wall. We talked about it all day long, and I think they're starting to run out of real estate on this racetrack. It's going to be interesting as we get to the end of this thing if they, you know, start going down low and finding grip down low again.
Well, there's 59 laps to go, and I think obviously everybody's going to come in and put their last set of tires on, and that'll definitely be the furthest that they have to go on tires as we've run all day. So here they come. Ryan?
Tyler Reddick is obviously great. I mean, he's been pretty much dominating the second half of this race. He says really close to where they need to be. No adjustments on that car, just 4 tires and fuel. Chase Briscoe running in second there, been in the top 3 about all day. Loose on entry, running the top, and gets tight on exit. So that's a hard thing to fix. Hopefully they'll get it a little bit. Daryl?
Yeah, the 7 comes down right now. He's a little bit too tight in the center right now. He's in a bit of a survival mode right now. So they're doing 4 tires of fuel with some minor adjustments to get them on their way.
Pit stall. Ryan Mulder and Chris Jackson going to work on these tires. No adjustments, it seems. Cole wants a water and an ice pack to keep himself cool, and he's down their way.
Tyler Reddick, first off of pit road, followed by Custer, Briscoe, and Allgaier. So it'll be an interesting restart with Allgaier up on the outside because we know where he's going. That's straight to the top. Welcome back to Charlotte Motor Speedway, and do a little on this date. May 25th, 1977, Star Wars opens. 83.
You were the only one that was alive then.
Oh, yeah, thank you for that, Clint. I appreciate that. We landed on Mars.
Even bigger day, huh?
No, that was a big blow up at the end of that race, though. But Darrell Waltrip wins the All-Star race. And
today, not such a good day for this guy. Man, I tell you, he did it. That wasn't his fault, right? I mean, he's there to catch that tire. It was clearly out of control. If that tall guy, when he stood up and got up, you could tell he's the right guy for the job. If he can't reach that tire, nobody can reach that tire. But a devastating penalty right here for Noah Gragson.
And these tires with inner liners and the wheels, they're pretty heavy. And when they start bouncing, like, they got a lot of air in them as well. They start bouncing, they get out of control, and you know, he did the best he can trying to get control of it, but that's kind of the pit crew's job, to try to bring that tire back the best as possible to allow the pit support from behind the wall to catch the tire. Brad, what you got going on in the studio over there?
Well, it looks like they're going to add another lap to the caution, so it's a great chance for us to recap the action we've seen so far. Chad, let's start off with the first incident we have today. It's with Bubba, forgetting where he's at. But a gnarly team here on the Drivers Only broadcast, plus Chad, but it's been hot from the start.
It has been.
Lap 40, go ahead, take us through it, Chad.
It has. It's been really hot all day. And this isn't always a wise thing to do, is put that cold water on you. It's a short-term game for a long-term loss. A lot of those guys might have a little bit of hot, steamy water on their bum here in just a little bit.
And then you got the debris here, obviously, that has really put a challenge for Cole Custer. Throughout this whole race, they've battled and battled and battled back, and they're in position. I don't know that his car is fast enough to get the job done right now, though.
Christopher Bell, here he is winning stage 1, but that might be a highlight he doesn't want to see a little bit later on. There's more to follow after that. Spin, stage 2, Austin Cindric saves it. He's still back out on the track, still going, restarting here at the end of this stage in the 10th position.
And that car has been loose all day long. And then the Gibbs guys, every single one of them has had a flat tire today. Interesting that we've only had about 23 laps of green flag racing when all these guys had these flat tires.
And like you said, I think the biggest thing coming up is they got their last set of tires on. And here we go.
Another spin here for Jeffrey Earnhardt with the flat tires. We're talking about Tyler Reddick winning stage 2. And Kevin, we're about ready to get back going here.
All right, guys, thank you. As we're coming to restart here, we see that Tyler Reddick has chose the bottom. I thought he did pretty good on the top last time, but obviously he's in the car and knows what he thought worked best, and going to give it another try on the bottom of the racetrack here on this restart.
I'm looking at this outside, guys. It's going to be interesting if this Cole Custer can see Allgaier. He knows, we know that Allgaier will go to the outside. We've seen him do it. And guess what? Just
he
didn't clear it, but he was looking for it.
Now he's going to the middle. He just goes wherever he's not, I guess, to try to make that happen. But then you see that whole top lane is really fall apart.
Yep.
You know, where they both kind of lost on that deal.
And Tyler Reddick looks like he knows what he's doing, right?
Yeah, he definitely picked the right line, the right push. You know, sometimes greed will get you in trouble, and obviously he looked to the outside, really broke that outside line up, and those two paid the price this time.
Yeah, we see John Hunter Nemechek there in 3rd place. He's had some run-ins with the wall and a few issues today, but it seems like everybody's had issues today.
Yeah. And here you see a good run from the 00, getting a run out into turn 3. This is where it gets interesting. We get that car right on your right side where didn't seem to matter. The 23 had to lift really early there for some reason, which must be fighting some serious handling conditions. Bubba, you got some info on that, don't you?
Yeah, the 23 is one of the guys that needs it to go green here. He is out of tires along with the 10 car of Austin Dillon. So off to you, Ryan. What do you got?
I got Ryan Sieg. He's been really, really strong, really all year, basically. 5 top 10s this year. He's been in the top 10 all day, battling for a 5th place spot right now. He's running 6th. Maybe we lost a couple right there, but really strong effort by that whole group today.
Yeah, and we see that whole group of cars with Ryan Sieg, and you see Jeb Burton down there in the 8. And we haven't talked about the 1 car of Michael Annett right in front of these guys, but Michael Annett's had a great year, and winning at Daytona, and it seems like that momentum has really carried for those guys week after week to some solid runs.
For sure, and I need to kind of touch back on what Bubba said there about John Hunter running out of tires. I think we messed up and said everyone's out of tires. Only some cars are out of tires. There's still quite a few cars, that some of the front-running cars that didn't have many issues early in the race have an extra set left. So those cars that have no tires left are saying this thing needs to go 51 laps green unless everyone's going to get tires, and they're going to finish for sure outside the top 10 if that happens.
Well,
so
there ain't many.
They're hoping.
Right? There's been a lot of attrition in this race. The heat, we knew that was going to be the storyline of the day. Whether it's the attrition in the cars, whether it's attrition in the drivers inside the cars. His 22 car. I tell you what, Austin Cindric has done such a good job. So many saves today. That car, it does not like him very well today. We've all been there and been in one of them cars. You just got to tough it out.
And you may be looking at this saying, well, why don't they just tighten them up? I'm sure they are. I'm sure they are working on this car as much as possible. But that's what Charlotte is. It can sometimes throw you for a loop. You practice in conditions so different than right now. You're in, obviously 127 degrees inside the car right now. But the track temperature really is what affects the balance of these cars. And when you practice in something different than what you have right now, sometimes you get yourself kind of thrown for a loop. And when you have a driver that hasn't raced at Charlotte many times, you don't really know which way it's going to go, and you're trying to explain to your crew chief what you need, but you don't know what you don't know sometimes, and this is a great learning experience for Austin.
Ryan, tell us more about the one car.
Yeah, I just wanted to add on that. You guys talked about it a little bit earlier, winning Daytona beginning of this year, and I feel like that team has carried that momentum all the way through this season. So running sixth right now, having a great battle with Jeb Burton from that spot. They didn't actually unload very good in practice, but they worked on it all day, and they're really looking forward to the hot slick race. And interesting enough, Junior Motorsports have never won here. So that part is actually very surprising to me. Maybe we'll get it done today. Bubba.
As we just talked about Austin Dillon being out of tires, he's almost out of the seat. His right rear crush panel's falling out, and his cool suit's blowing hot air. Literally, a team member just walked over to me and asked if I could jump in it, and I'm like, I don't know how I could just leave these guys hanging.
I'm sure you want to jump in that thing, bud.
I like driving, so I would do it.
Yeah, well, if the crush panel's out of that thing and he's in bad shape, it's probably a good idea just to park it.
Yeah, I mean, that's hard to do, though, man. To get out of those hot rides, everybody works so hard to get them on the racetrack. It's what you live for. I agree with Bubba. You live to be in that car. It's miserable. It is. Your day is probably done. You know that, but you don't get out of that car. And I know Austin, he ain't going to get out either.
You don't want to get out of the car, but you still got to have big picture in mind. Crown Jewel event tomorrow, Coca-Cola 600. You want to be fresh for that one. That's the big money. That's the one you really want to win.
Well, there's still a lot going on here today, and as we run this race, it just keeps getting hotter and hotter outside, and it seems to be doing the same on the racetrack as well.
Only the one, just the one.
Cole Custer takes it in Texas. Chase Briscoe wins in Charlotte. He has done it. Nemechek wins.
Justin Allgaier back to victory lane.
Christopher Bell.
Tyler Reddick pulls it off.
This year, on the track,
Back it down.
new names will become worthy of the spotlight.
The 22-year-old is the Xfinity Series champion.
The NASCAR Xfinity Series. Names are made here.
More people are switching to Ram than ever before because Ram gives you more towing, more luxury, more legroom. And we've got the most awarded truck in America, so you can get on to bigger things. The all-new Ram 1500, Motor Trend's 2019 Truck of the Year.
Now get an average $11,631 in total values on select all-new 2019 Ram 1500 models in dealer stock.
You ever wish you weren't a motor?
Sure. Sometimes I wish I had legs like you.
Yeah, like a regular person?
No. Still have bike half man. Just the opposite.
What's the legs on the bottom and motorcycle on the top? Yeah. Yeah, I can see that.
For those who were born to ride, there's Progressive.
This is more than a race.
The Coca-Cola 600, here we go.
This is America's favorite weekend. When NASCAR comes home to Charlotte. It's a chance to honor those who've served.
Let's just remember all those who sacrificed everything for us.
And after 600 miles, this is everything and a little bit more. The Coca-Cola 600, Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern on Fox and the Fox Sports app.
The thing about legends is, they're not born legends. They train harder. They sacrifice more. They're willing to bleed more than you. And just when you think their story is over, they're on to the next chapter.
Welcome back to Charlotte Motor Speedway, and as you saw in your side-by-side windows there, we've had some action on the racetrack, but that has created something that is a little bit out of our driver IQ, and thank God we have a crew chief a part of this broadcast today. So, Chad, what do we do here? We pit, staying out, what?
We're out of tires, guys. We're out. We're going to stay out there, and we're going to race this thing to the end. But a couple quick, neat little nuggets that we got going on. I think there's opportunities with the 22 car and potentially the 9, I think these guys can come down and get on a chassis adjustment, because we've seen that 22 car pretty much out of control all day long. I think it's a good opportunity for those guys to come down. The other thing that I think we also got to pay attention to is in the last 20 laps, it looks like over the last 8 years or so, there's a 70% chance that a caution is going to fly even at that point. So some of those scuffed tires that those guys have sitting on pit road could potentially come into play late in the race.
Well, we're going to find out, because I think a few of them have some tires left here, Chad. And here we go. We see the leaders coming down pit road. 98 stay out. Ryan?
Yeah, the 2-car, Tyler Reddick, that was kind of a last minute deal. They're coming in for 4 tires. I don't think they're going to make any changes. He's been really fast all day. Whoever's next.
See Cole Custer making his way down pit road. He's going to come in, take 4 tires of fuel. He's been way too tight on the radio. He said he's got nothing through the 2 unless they get this thing driving better. You see the wedge wrench go in the right rear, cranking some adjustments in. Hopefully he's going to have something for him here at the end.
Well, and we talk about how important tires are, and we had only run, I think, 11 laps right there before we had this caution, and you see this many guys coming to pit road to put some tires on. So
this should be the last set for those cars. I believe, I might be wrong, but I believe Chase Briscoe is the one with 1 set left. And he might get eaten up here a little bit by those tires, but if there's a caution with 20 to go, my man's going to be in the right spot.
Well, you see how slick it is. When we come back to Charlotte, we'll see what happens. Welcome back to Charlotte, and we talked about Austin Dillon struggling with the crush panel being knocked out and everything that was going on inside his car, and we see Daniel Hemrick ready to get in the 10 car.
He's getting in.
And carbon monoxide poisoning is no joke, man. That's nothing you really want to mess with. This is a surprising move by RCR, if you ask me, to put your other driver that you have racing tomorrow in the Coke 600 into a car that you know is having some carbon monoxide problems.
Yeah, if I have a horse out of the race, I ain't putting my only other horse back in the race. I'm done. But that's what they did. And, you know, and carbon monoxide, you talk about that. You don't know that you're getting that, right? It's not like you can just smell that or whatever else. The heat is what he knew, and you can see the exhaustion on him. That was a smart thing to do. With 600 miles to race tomorrow night, I mean, they were running what, just outside the top 10. It was time for him to get out.
I'm over it, dude. Hemrick got it for you, but if we don't get him out of here in time, you can do what you need to do. I don't want to burn you up. Are you ready? I'm fine with driving into him.
Yeah, and that just tells you how hot it is, and I think Bubba has more for us. Bubba?
Yeah, actually, I'm with the 7 crew chief, Justin Allgaier here. You told your driver to stay out, do what the leaders do. What's your strategy? You got a set lane. What do you think?
Well, you know, we can make it on fuel from when we last pitted there with, whatever it was, 55 or so to go. So, you know, we're good on fuel. And we've been struggling to have speed all day. So, you know, this might give us an opportunity, you know, with 10 to go or something. We can put fresh tires on, and, you know, it might give us a little extra where we can run with the 2 and the 00 on them.
Awesome. Best of luck. There's the opportunity for them. Ryan, what you got?
I'm here with crew chief for Chase Briscoe, Richard Boswell. You chose to stay out. I like that call personally. I know you hope you like that call. It seems like you've had close to speed, but what do you think about that call you made?
Yeah, you know, the Nutrichom's Ford Performance Mustang's been pretty good all day. I don't think we've been as good as the 2, so we got to do something a little different to try and beat them. Hoping for a caution here. 10, 15 laps, we can have fresher tires.
Well, we've got the top 7 cars that stayed out on old tires, so those guys have a little bit of a buffer, but they're going to need a caution, in my opinion.
Well, you just heard it in his crew chief's words there, that, man, I hope there's a caution, because he knows he's going to get eaten up here at some point. If it goes green, he's not going to win the race. So, you know, you're hoping there's a caution, but you want to get a few laps under his tires. So you want 15 or 20 laps before there's a caution.
But if you want clean air, that call was for clean air to get out there, but he's got to run fast because Tyler Reddick on those tires is coming very, very fast. He's made some aggressive moves there. He's already in the 3rd, and he's right on his bumper, so he's going to have to go take advantage of that clean air and try to get in a position where Tyler Reddick can't get on him. He's headed to the top, as you can see right there. You know that's where Tyler Reddick's going to run. It'll be interesting to see if those tires enable him to get around him on the bottom.
But that advantage that Tyler Reddick has right now, you see how quick he's catching these cars in front of him. That is the advantage that the 98, the 7, those cars that have a tires left, they will have that advantage if the caution comes out. They're really, you know, they made their bet there. They're trying to make that work. Hopefully it doesn't. It's made it very entertaining for us, I can tell you that much.
You can see that John Hunter moved up in front of Chase Briscoe right there. Chase still did a pretty good job in the wake of him holding that Tyler Reddick off. I thought that was Tyler Reddick's opportunity to pass him on the bottom.
Well, and they're right where Tyler Reddick wants to be.
Chase Briscoe getting in the wall. All it takes is that car right there in front of you to pull up and run that outside line, take that air off of you, and the rest is history. You know, we heard him talking about being loose in before. That was a product of that for sure.
Well, and then you add old tires to it. You add being right behind another car, and all those things add up to him getting loose and having contact with the wall. I don't believe he hit it hard enough to really affect anything that he's doing now.
No, this year, I think you're going to see John Hunter race as hard as possible, but I don't think he's going to have a chance of holding him off, because he's going to try to keep that clean air, because that's the only advantage he had. Now it's gone. Was clean air. He didn't have tires on his side. Now you look for these cars that are now in dirtier air to keep falling backwards. But they, like you said, Kevin, they had a good cushion of cars behind them that stayed out with them as well.
The only problem that I see with this whole thing is there's a number of cars, there's more cars that pitted than stayed out. So the amount of cars that they're going to have to pass might be a little bit greater once they come back on the racetrack. But you know, in the end, it's still, I think it's a great risk worth taking to try to win a race, because the two-car is the car that has the dominant car.
Well, I think we all agree that was a call. But, you know, the two-car, being the dominant car, you put him back there. He had to pass a lot of cars. The time to do that is on a restart. He did a good job of getting them elbows up, getting aggressive, making some moves over there off of 2. And lo and behold, now he's in the lead driving off.
And now Tyler Reddick has to think about saving his tires. Don't burn them up. You got 33 laps to go. Just manage that gap from second place. You get too far. Ooh, there's a good hit to 23 in the wall. That was some really big contact, which that one might have been some stuff.
Yeah,
that one.
Yeah, and he hit it coming off the corner. So, you know, Chase Briscoe kind of just rubbed it as he went through the inch of the corner. That was definitely big contact on the exit of the corner.
And we just got news that the 10 car is out of the race, so it sounds like Hamrick made a couple laps and came in. Maybe Richard Childress was listening to us.
I guarantee it.
We got John Hunter impacting the wall again. That was even heavier damage here, guys.
You're good.
And this is really a situation where you have to have some discipline, and you can't just keep driving the car into the wall. You have to have some discipline at this point to know you're on old tires, to know you're not going to run as fast as the guy that's in front of you. So you see,
got a flat.
Yeah. Now he's got a flat tire.
All right, you're good. Keep rolling. Caution's out.
Caution's out, guys. Now the plot thickens.
Tear the fender apart.
It does, but is that enough laps on those cars that just put tires on that it's worth pitting yet? Man, you really wish that they ran another 10 laps or so before this caution.
Now, right?
Yeah, I mean, you have to pit at this point. If you hadn't pitted, I mean, you have to pit at this point, because you're just going to be stacking yourself deeper in the track position game if you have half of them pit and you stay out again, and then you pit later.
And unfortunately, the advantage that they're going to have tire-wise is not going to be as much as they really wanted it to be. They really were hoping, you know, you get 15 laps at least. Would have made a big enough difference. Maybe they have to pit now, but there's what, 17 cars on the lead lap, so at worst you're back there. It's gonna be tough.
Bubba?
Yeah, as you guys noticed, the 23 smacked the fence off of 4, so at a flat left rear, or right rear, I'm sorry. And they're putting 20 lap scuffs on there, and they're trying to cool them down with ice packs. They're trying to ease off and away.
Think there's any way they'll let you borrow those ice packs?
I wish. That'd be nice.
Got a little sweat on that brow.
Yeah. You know, these tires that we're running, guys, it's temperature. They're so temperature, sensitive. It seems like if you can cool those things off, the grip level comes right back in them. So I don't know. Maybe those old scuffed tires that are cooled down with those ice packs, they might prevail.
Well, you'll see that a lot in the garage. You'll see the ice packs in the rims and the fans blowing on the tires when we're doing qualifying runs. So doing it in the race. The San Francisco Giants host the Arizona Diamondbacks in an NL West showdown. Catch the action next on FS1 or the Fox Sports app.
Baseball.
Last I looked, Clint, the Yankees were beating the Royals, but I'm just saying.
I don't want to talk about it.
All right, here we go. Strategies unfolding, Ryan.
Man, he had Chase Briscoe and that team that decided to bring him down pit road. There was a lot of debate, man. There was a lot of debate of, okay, if those cars had enough laps on their tires to justify coming down in and putting their set on, because now they have to pass all those cars back with very little laps on their tires. But hopefully it pays off for them. They didn't think they were going to beat the 2 regardless. Bubba, what do you got?
Yeah, the 7 car was saying exact same thing as Clint was. They needed 10 more laps to really make their judgment call. But they're in for 4 tires. Their last set, Sunoco fuel, they're on their way. What you got, Eric?
Yeah, it looks like they were down here on the 22, and we're going to actually make an air pressure change with no tire changes. All they have left laying in the pits is scuffs. Obviously, still trying to work on that thing, getting it driving like Austin really wants it to.
Yeah. Tire getaway back there on the back there. Got it under control. Be a penalty for sure.
Well, they're all chasing the beast.
He's been fast. He's been doing a good job on these restarts, maintaining, getting the lead back. His car seems to be so fast. You know, be interested to see if those cars that just pitted, some of them are pretty fast. So the 7, the 98, those cars had some speed. It'll be interesting to see how quick they can work through the field and have a shot at it. Maybe another caution to close it back up might be what they need. You know, you get 5, 6, 10 spots. Caution comes out. You can reset, try to get another 3 or 4.
Well, boys, how's the air conditioning back at the studio?
It's pretty good, and the graphics here are awesome. You should see it one time, but no, this has turned into a great race. Chad, pit strategy really playing out here. Tyler Reddick has the lead. Looks like he's in great shape, but there's a couple of really hungry drivers with new tires behind him.
I called it earlier with Chase Briscoe, and they're sitting there, I think, pretty well on tires. Going to be about 8th or 9th position. I know I played it ahead one pit stop sequence too far earlier today when I told you they were out of tires, but those guys right now have fresh tires. Everybody else ahead of them's got about 8 green flag laps on their tires and a couple caution laps, so I think they got a shot.
And Ricky, what do these drivers need to do that have new tires to get up there and challenge Tyler Reddick, and what does Tyler Reddick need to do to defend them?
Well, Tyler Reddick's got to get a good restart, and I think he's been doing that all day, so I don't think he'll have any issue. He'll get out front. He's got the fastest car. But somebody like Chase Briscoe, he's got to pick his moves and time them right. He can't have any holdups or hiccups throughout the course of the last 25 laps or so, because he's going to need all the time in the world that he can get to that 2 car.
And I don't think we're done seeing cautions just yet.
That's true.
The average is 12 cautions, and we're at 9 cautions now. So let's check it out with Eric Jones down in the pits.
Yeah, I'm here with Mike Shiplett. Mike, you guys took tires about 11 laps ago. Do you really think it's going to make a big difference here, these guys that just came in and put tires on again?
No, I think it's going to be equaled out here. They're back in traffic a little bit. There's about four rows of cars in between it. We're not going to go here again. So I think it's going to equal out pretty even. 2 best cars are back up front right now. So fortunately, the other 2 that were good took themselves out. But you know, we'll see how the end of the race goes here.
Sounds good. Good luck.
Well, they've added another lap here before we go back green. So let's take a look at the Mobil 1 race summary. After 174 of 200 laps, our current leader is Tyler Reddick, who has been pretty much the guy to beat since Christopher Bell and those guys had trouble earlier in the race. So, Ryan?
I'm here with Randall Burnett, crew chief of the 2 car. You guys have been really the class of the field all day, I feel like, but I think that worked out for you guys to where there wasn't that many laps, and those guys put tires on. What do you think?
Well, yeah, I was certainly second-guessing my call there before, but that worked out in our advantage a little bit, forcing those guys to come to pit road, not leaving them a set at the end. So still a little worried, you know, the 98's on fresh tires. He's been really fast all day. He's got to pass a few more cars than we did to get back up there. So we'll go at it with this 00 and see what we got. Hopefully we made the right call.
Yeah, 10-4. This should be a good one.
I think we're working on the lineup here, trying to make sure that it's right for all these cars to be in the right spot here coming to the green.
Man, I'm telling you, this is not the Xfinity race that I thought I was going to come up here and call. So many different storylines, so many different things that happen, wild restarts, wild carnage. Look at the walls. I mean, these guys are going to have to repaint these so we can have them looking good for tomorrow night in the Coca-Cola 600. But just a wild race.
It is not going to get any more tame. At this point, the intensity level is going to keep growing.
Add another lap here.
And they did add another lap, it seemed like. So yeah, this intensity level is going to keep going as these drivers see that checkered flag close. And you have some drivers up towards the front, Jeb Burton, Ryan Seek, some of these guys, Justin Haley, looking for their first win. And when that carrot's hanging out in front of you, you're going to do some crazy stuff. So I wouldn't be surprised if you see some really big moves that anytime they get a run, they're going to take it.
May is Foster Care Awareness Month, and Fox Sports has partnered with the Ticket to Dream Foundation to provide opportunities for our country's foster youth to succeed in the classroom and on the field. Visit tickettodream.org to learn how you can help foster kids just be kids.
What a great cause. I love that's something that Fox is doing. Fox supports, finding a charitable organization. I believe it's every month to be able to shine a spotlight on it. A lot of times, finances is a big deal to these organizations trying to make a difference. But, maybe just bringing awareness to some of the situations could do something just as big.
The zero here of Smithley and Garrett Smithley in ninth place there. A strong run for them. This is getting down to the end of the race. He could get a strong finish. It'd be a huge day for him and his team.
Yeah, you see the 08 of Greg Alding there. He's had a couple good runs this year. We've talked about him a couple times, and you see Panini trading cards. We all know and sign a lot of Panini trading cards throughout the year. Let's hear some radio.
I said, let's sell some t-shirts and put on a show right here. Right.
This brings you back to the old short track days when you just have a short stint to the end here, and it's going to get crazy. You see a lot of wheel spin from the front row.
1 lane higher. Side bumper still inside.
Now this is going to change a lot of things. Brandon Jones went to the outside of the 2, did not push him, going for that win. This is going to put Tyler Reddick back in the 3rd spot. This is really going to show how good his car is if he can get back through the field.
So the first time that we've had Cole Custer in that 00 back to the lead. We knew that was probably, I would say, the 2nd strongest car that we've seen today. So it'll be interesting to see if Tyler Reddick can run him down. Chase Briscoe the same way. We got those tires coming. These guys are 2-3 wide in front of him. This is not what he wanted to see in his windshield right now.
Yeah, because you have to make hay at the beginning of these restarts if those guys.
And obviously there's some spots that go by. Not only did he lose the spots, he loses the momentum of his race car. It's going to take a while to get it back going again. And I believe he just blew right front right there.
Right front down. Hold your line up there. Hold it. Bunch up coming. Hold up there. Hold up there. Bunch up coming. Hold up there. I can't get you down. Still 6, 7 more.
We're not going to see a caution.
Yeah, he's almost got to stop to get onto pit road here.
So we stay. Might be debris here, but we stay green for now, guys.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate. Those guys put themselves in a good position to take advantage of some strategy. But it's like what we talked earlier. You have to understand your situation and the things that are going on. And right here, he just has a head of steam and just wound up just slipping that front just a little bit and getting into the wall.
Just a little much. And he's messing with the wake of that car behind that was right in front of him, the 8 car Jeff Burton. He's working on trying to squeeze it in that hole right there, and it's so tight. And it's all it takes sometimes. We talk about how these bodies have been able to take a hit and keep going, but
well, it's go time.
Not going to happen all the time.
He had to go. We talked about aggression. We watched how the caution's finally going to come out here with the 36, but it's go time. He had to go and catch those guys and take advantage of those tires. We saw as they went into turns 1 and 2, they were 2 or 3 wide in front of him. That really held him up, and desperation eventually is going to set.
And his situation was desperation. He knew he had to go.
Yep.
Like he knew his situation and understood that he needed to get everything that he could as quick as he can. You see the 36 car just spinning out. I mean, we've seen that a few times today.
No grip. Need more grip.
I don't like what I'm watching, guys. Surely that thing's going to have a lot more grip in it tomorrow night, right?
Yeah, sure it will. Yeah, you'll be fine. But here's who really took advantage of the tires there. Justin Allgaier. He was the other car that had tires on it. He got up to 3rd. Now he has a caution. So now he's in good shape. He's got 19 laps to go. He's got a little fresher tires in the cars in front of him, and he's in striking distance to be able to make this happen. So I think he's in the catbird seat right now.
It always amazes me how the good cars always find, through all the carnage, through all the cautions, through all the strategies, all the things that happen throughout a wild, chaotic race like this, those fast cars find their way back up to the front. Here they are. Let me show you guys something right here. Do you see that max temperature of 144 degrees? I me tell you, and then we saw Justin Haley earlier. I'm going to tell you guys a story real quick, and I'll make it short. Did you see him dump that water bottle on him? I did that once. That is a no-no when that baby's showing 130 degrees. We already talked about a medium rare steak being, what, 135?
135, yeah.
So we're close to cooking already.
Yeah, but you're showing your age right
So
here.
I dumped this water bottle down me to try to cool off. And why you don't do that is that water will boil underneath your butt. And you look like you have fried eggs on both cheeks of your butt. That was a horrible experience. Do not dump the water on yourself.
And this was the first stint of the race. This was really early, so
fried eggs. Think fried eggs.
The difference is he's got a carbon fiber seat. Yours was metal.
And this is Justin Haley at the end of the race.
Is that the left cheek or the right cheek?
Yeah. It was both. I had a matching set.
It's tough though. Like when you're sitting in the car on a day like this, like you're just trying to survive. You know, you do the things that you think are right. Dale Jr. used to take his whole fire suit and dunk it in water before he would get in the car on a day like this. So, you know, there's all kinds of little tricks that people use to try to make things better. I'll do that. Yeah, I do that. I'll dump it on my face to do, like, just cool your face off, and then the air conditioner blows on your face, and it kind of...
You can see his ice bag as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
You guys do that? You do the ice bag?
I do an ice bag. Ice bag's nice. That's real nice. Yeah. I'd be worried about the water hurt my microphone inside my helmet.
But they don't want to hear me talk anyway.
Okay.
So. Ryan, what do you have?
Well, I got, well, we were talking about, you know, how to stay cool throughout the day and everything like that tomorrow. And yeah, the water thing on the body, Clint, I agree with you. That's a no-go. On the face is good. But, yeah, I think it's kind of back and forth. A lot of teams kind of insulate their cars differently from heat shields and things like that, and some are hotter than others. And I know my feet get really hot. That's something that always bothers me, but hopefully it doesn't bother me here throughout the race. Ice cream is also a pretty good thing. Not to eat, but just to put in your suit. Bubba.
Yeah, do you guys use like the little pouch, like to plug into your suit? I've started using that like Vegas last year, and that helped out a lot. And the ice packs helped me a lot, but it doesn't matter if it's 30 degrees out. You can see I'm still sweating all day long. That's just how hot I am, baby.
I'll be honest.
Eric.
Yeah, I'm down here sweating away on pit road. I sweat plenty in the race car as it is. But, yeah, for me, I mean, I'm an ice pack person. I like to put the 2 packs in my suit right on my chest. There's a 3rd pack that goes in there. I don't know where that one goes, but we get them cooled down, and it stays and it helps out throughout most of the race.
Well, I got to get into this ice pack thing because I
like my man right here.
I don't think I've ever used an ice pack.
He's got it made in the shade right there.
Is he awake?
Oh, yeah.
Somewhat.
Yeah, there we go.
Heat's the name of the game.
Bottom line is, it is hot today, and it is making this race really, really exciting. Welcome back to Charlotte Motor Speedway, and we're creeping in on the end of this one, boys. And we've seen strategy, we've seen cars spin out, we've seen cars rub the wall, and now there's a lot on the line. And you talked about Justin Allgaier having fresh tires and maybe being in the catbird seat, and he's on the outside.
And that might be why Cole Custer took the bottom, because the trend is Justin Allgaier does not stay with the car in front of him to push him. And that would really hurt Cole, and I think he must have learned from that, and maybe a spotter, his crew chief said something and gave him that information. I think that's why he took the bottom.
We're fixing to see a lot of aggression, fellas.
Yep.
Well, 16 to go. We're going to settle it here shortly. Bottom didn't go.
Oh. You see a lot of wheel spin there from Cole Custer. He's going to lose a ton of spots here. Here comes Justin Allgaier.
Woo. One car all the way on the apron.
What do you say? It was going to get intense? A little more aggressive?
Well, and you know, the hard thing about this particular restart zone is once you spin the tires, like, it doesn't seem like they ever want to quit spinning.
Boy, that's the truth. So I think Justin Allgaier is thinking here, I better get him quick. You don't want that 2 car to get out there too far. You might not be able to get him. And we know how fast he is. And Justin hasn't had the fastest car all day today, but he has a little advantage on tires. He needs to try to make it happen while he can, unless the 2's just going to drive away. Here's a replay of the restart here, and you see Cole spinning his tires. 19 to Brendan Jones got the runs, going to push him. but there's no rear grip, and it's going to get that car even looser. And look at the one of Annette.
Man, how they escaped that. That was good heads-up driving on everybody's behalf. Guys, I like Jeffrey Earnhardt. This 18 car, they obviously took good advantage of their strategy. He's holding strong in third place. Very good showing for them. They've been all across the board. They've been into the wall. They've had trouble. They've spun out.
Been in the
Once
wall.
Again,
you can see the right front tire hanging out of the fenders.
All these cars, I can't believe what I'm seeing. This is a 1.5 mile track. These cars are beat up, tore up, taped up, repaired, spun out. Now he's running third.
And he's still got one of the best paint schemes on the racetrack, that Mooresville Police Department. So neat to see that car running up towards the front here at the end. Like I said earlier in the race, that means a lot to a lot of people in this area.
And taking advantage of his opportunity. You know, I think he's got, what, 7 or 8, 9 races in this particular car. He's never had a top 5, and, you know, he's just having a great race. And we all know the Earnhardt history and heritage when it comes to Charlotte Motor Speedway, being from right around here, and know how much it means for that family to run well, and it's great to see.
These guys are high, wide, and I'm talking on the fence high. I do not see this going 11 laps without somebody getting into the wall and maybe causing a caution. And there it is. Not the caution, but he was definitely in the fence, and I don't think that's the last one.
And Clint and Joey, it goes right back to the body. These guys are they're not afraid to take a chance. They're willing to go up there and bounce it off the wall and take a chance of hitting the wall to gain that speed. And being towards the end of the race, you know, you see Brandon Jones whack it again there into the fence, and you know, I think this time it actually hurt him a little bit.
The cars will definitely take it. That body, I'm sold on this body as far as this product and this Xfinity series. This has saved so many cautions, so many debris, all the things that come into you know, one of us getting into the wall in our cars. You just don't see it today in this Xfinity race. You see is the beast is bad. He has been bad fast all day long. Tyler Reddick, the 2-car. It was fun to talk to him earlier in the race. It's going to be interesting to see, you know, if he could do it. I mean, this is the most laps he's ever led in a race, guys. A strong, strong performance for him and his team in that RCR number 2 that we talked about earlier.
Here's the thing I like about Tyler Reddick's situation. I love the fact that Tyler Reddick is at RCR, because they have always been about finishing races and consistency. And then you take Tyler Reddick's aggressiveness and his speed and the things that he does in the car, and when he does something wrong, which he hasn't done very many things wrong, you know how Richard is. He's going to be like, hey, you know, we got to take care of this, or we got to do this, or you got to finish the race.
He'll teach you that part.
It's all about finishing the races at RCR, and then you mix that with Tyler, and I think it's a great combination.
I agree with you.
And I think something that's made him so good today, and really winning the championship last season in Miami, is that he's so good at running the wall, running right at that fence. You look at the right side of that car, he has not hit the wall today. He's been right up on it. He can enter right on the wall, and he can continue that momentum where you see Justin Allgaier behind him. It's not Justin, it might be his car, whatever it is. They don't have that thing tuned up to be able to do the same things that 2-car can do.
Bubba, what do you have on the 7?
Yeah, well, if they can relay what he just said over his radio to Tyler Reddick, Justin Allgaier just came over and said that's all he's got. So I guess Tyler can back off the pace, but it's, what, 6 laps to go? I'd keep digging.
And you know what? I think that Justin Allgaier and his team, you know, as they do on many times throughout the season, they overachieve with their situation and what they have just by being good racers. And today, they did a good job racing, and if they finish second, I would call that a win.
Cole Custer's in the fence. It's definitely got something broke now. It's unfortunate. That's both teammates there. I was watching Cole. He was really, really flirting with that wall. Very, very close to it. And looks like he finally got into it.
And I mean, at this point, he's won a couple races and going for wins, and he can afford that scenario right there. So, you know, it's unfortunate that he's not going to finish, but with 5 laps to go, you know, took a chance and it didn't work out.
It's definitely a survival race. You know, if this was our race tomorrow and this many cars hit the wall, you could be the 35th place car and you're going to win because you got a car in one piece. And it might be. Who knows? But as many cars have had issues and stuff here, you're going to start seeing some interesting characters in the top 10. And, you know, look at the 22 car of Austin Cindric. I mean, he's had a rough day. He doesn't have any tires in his box. And because of everything that's going on, he's going to squeak possibly a top 10 out of this thing.
I just can't believe what we're seeing. I mean, we're 4 laps to go. You said it. Look at the top 10. Look at the names that are in it. You know, Jeb Burton getting this opportunity and making the most of it. Austin Cindric, he's in 10th place. That car has been out of control all day long, and they've never given up, making, you know, big swings and adjustments. Jeffrey Earnhardt, this 18 car. You want to talk about attrition and being all over the place, taking advantage of strategy. They're in 3rd place, guys.
And Noah Gragson, he had a pit penalty not too long ago, went to the back of the field. But just a number of great stories as we've gone throughout the day, really from attrition and from the different circumstances that have been created by the racetrack and the heat and everything that's going on today. Justin Haley, he's wet. He's dumped a whole bunch of water on himself today.
He's past a rare steak at this point. He's well done.
But you know what? He's running 5th, and he's going to say, you know what? Everything I did today was worth it, because he's grounded out and made something out of his day and sitting here running 5th place.
You know, and we know this. You guys have run these Xfinity cars. These cars are hot. They are hotter, and usually I've had a lot of you guys, my peers that drive Cup cars, get in these Xfinity cars and, you know, tell us just how hot they are.
And Tyler Reddick, he's been a beast today, coming off of turn 4 for the white flag.
75%.
The white flag waves as we have 1 lap to go, sponsored by Credit One Bank.
He's just cruising. He's taking that white flag. You know how good it feels to take that white flag, because you know if the caution comes out, you got it in the books.
7 is P2, 25 back, and floated into 3 and 4 here, nice and smooth.
That's what you want to hear. That's right. Way back.
He went to the bottom that time.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And as he comes off of turn 4, he's going to collect his 5th series win. Just 23-year-old Tyler Reddick. What a day. Great race. Those guys did a great job.
Great race. Deserving winner.
In order to drive this car, thank you guys so much.
Good day for RCR.
Thank you so much.
You know, huge shot in the arm for everybody at RCR to see that 2-car back, you know, in victory lane. Total team effort. Those guys have been knocking on the door. They've been doing a great job this year. Big win right here in your own backyard at Charlotte. That's always big.
Nothing like winning in Charlotte. You know, or maybe some members from the shop that don't typically get to go to the races, they get to celebrate with you in victory lane. So it is not empty when you get there. It's full. There's people everywhere. That's what makes Charlotte so special to win at.
Yeah, we talked about that 2-car earlier, and you know the history and everything that they've had as Tyler Reddick does some burnouts. For RCR's 81st career Xfinity win. And Tyler is down there in the last corner of the Roval. When we come back here in September, we will not be on the oval. We will be on the Roval. And Tyler is in the chicane coming to the start-finish line doing some donuts.
I think he's getting to the point, well, we can't see him, but I don't think he can see too much inside that car either anymore.
Great day of racing. I mean, I'm just so impressed with the names, the attrition. We talked about it. You know, Jeffrey Earnhardt in that 18 car being in 3rd place. You know, Justin Haley in 11 car, big day for them. Jeb Burton taking advantage of his opportunities we talked about. Just a lot of, man, what a day. This is an Xfinity race at Charlotte, 1.5-mile track. That was literally like watching a short track. These cars are tore up. They put on one heck of a show.
Well, that one's not tore up. That one was just fast all day.
Funny how that worked. And he didn't have to tear it up, did he?
He didn't have to tear it up. And when you look at Tyler Reddick, he does a great job running the wall, like you guys said earlier. But he's done a great job of not tearing his cars up this year and not putting himself in a position to have to backpedal and come in the pits to fix it. All they had to do today was keep the track position. They had a fast car and did what they needed to do on pit road in order to protect that fast car by keeping that track position.
And how many times have we seen young drivers come into this sport that are really fast, but then they hit something? And the one that comes to my mind that's maybe the most popular right now, Kyle Busch. He started fast, hit something, and he has figured out how to control that speed, just like Tyler Reddick is figuring out right now, where he has the speed, and he's not hitting things anymore like he did last year at this point. And that's why you see these victories, and most likely why Tyler's going to keep moving up through the ranks.
Bubba?
Yeah, standing here with Just Now Guy, your second place in a row, your best career finish here at Charlotte. Well, how do you assess your day?
Charlotte has not been kind to me in yellow cars, so I'm glad that today went well. Our Hellman's Real Mayonnaise and Ketchup Camaro was good. It wasn't great. The guys, man, they busted their butts on pit road and made good adjustments. Hats off to Jason Bennett and the boys. Just, we needed a little front turn, especially as that PJ1 wore off. We just really struggled with it. But proud of the guys, proud of this effort. It's Memorial Day weekend. This is the kickoff for one of the coolest weekends in auto racing, but also to Memorial Day. And I have a grandfather that is no longer with us that served in war, and this is a very special day for me. So hats off to all those that have lost their lives and their loved ones that are still here. And we hopefully did them justice today.
A special tribute by Justin Allgaier. Solid day for him. Comes home second.
Well, you look at these guys as they're getting out of the cars, and you look out the window here in the booth, and you see the ambulances lined up on pit road. And you see Jeffrey Earnhardt there, and you can just see it in a way that he's sitting on the ground right there, and how hot and how exhausted he is. So not easy.
And guess what? Tomorrow's race, twice as long.
Yeah.
At least the sun will be down.
All right, Eric.
Yep, we're down here in Victory Lane. Tyler Reddick about to climb out of the car after an impressive day here at a hot and slick Charlotte Motor Speedway. Getting the celebration going. He's going to take a celebratory drink. A big celebratory drink. Tyler, what an impressive day, man. What kind of statement does this make, switching teams and coming back and putting on a dominant performance like this today?
Well, it's hats off to all Richard Childress Racing. We were pretty good going into the 2 off weeks, but we weren't really happy with where we were, and they worked really hard. We worked on a couple things, and been really good since we came back to Charlotte. I'm just so pumped. Just by all the work ethic, all the guys back at the shop, guys here with me today, they just worked their tail off on our Tame the Beast Chevrolet, and held off Justin Allgaier, who's very hard to beat, and won at Charlotte, a place you used to hate.
That's right. How about tomorrow, though? You got the day off. You going to do some hydrating?
Well, I heard there's a tailgate around 11 o'clock, so who knows? I'll probably do some dehydrating with some Twisted Tea.
Sounds good. What do you guys got in the booth?
Well, I think as you look at Victory Lane, you see the type of guy that Tyler Reddick is, and you see that he's always having fun. You see that he's enjoying winning races, and he did a heck of a job today.
Yeah, I loved what I saw today. I think the racing was phenomenal. This is attrition was everything. We saw it all. We saw strategy, we saw carnage, we saw good racing, aggression, and Tyler Reddick